I appreciate and would like to thank each and every one of my wonderful patrons. Thank you. Mr. Sensible is proud that MAGE, the mission above globe Earth, has been sponsored by Bob the Science Guy and his channel, Common Sense Science. I'm also proud that MAGE is sponsored by Arctic Haze and his climate anomaly website. MAGE is now also kindly sponsored by Just Shoot Me, a Canberra-based rigging service for para and hang gliders, sailplane pilots and skydivers. And here we are. Wow, what a night. Thank you everybody who was joining in on the live premiere. It was absolutely fabulous. I don't think I've ever had so many people watching, and wasn't it something to watch indeed. I've had the most frantic week, been up to my neck in it, working like a dog, and finally got that video. It completed uploading only 1.5 hours before it went live. So I've had a busy time. I have with me in the chat a secret special guest, someone who shall remain nameless other than his moniker, Q. So I'm going to just have a quick look and see if I can I'm running Google Meets, which I don't normally do, so this could be fun and games. I've got to work out how to do half these things. I definitely have, because right now I can't show you Q. Oh, how do I unpin him? Oh, silly thing. Well, that's weird. Is it that? Oh no. Right, well, right now, I can't show you Q. You'll have to bear with me a minute while I work this out. Unpin. Oh, as soon as I hover over it, things get in the way. Right, well, that might be the end of a glorious evening. Oh, that's crazy. Let me hide the chat for a minute. People. Is that it? There we go. Come on, unpin me. Oh, now I've got Q. And now I've got both. And I'll switch on his sound. And we should have Q. Hello, Q.
Hello, Q.
We've got Q.
Is that working?
It seems to be working. It seems to
Have
be
you done this
working.
before?
I can see you on the screen and the sound is reacting. Don't let anyone tell you that I screw up on sound. Hey, it's the first time I've ever used Google Meet, so a little bit of lenience, please. So, Q, what did you think? You saw that video for the first time tonight.
It's a great video. I enjoyed that. It's good to see all the telemetry on there and the different shots. Very good.
What did Mrs. Q think? Did she watch it with you?
Yeah, we watched it on the big screen downstairs. Yeah.
Oh, nice one. Well, I had a bit of a problem. Mrs. S and Mini Miss S joined me in here, expecting to watch it on the big projector screen. But of course, if it's on the projector, I have to turn all the lights out, which means I can't see the keyboard, which means I can't respond. So that was out. So they huddled round behind me on my keyboard, behind my monitor. So that was interesting. I want to watch it on my projector screen because I think that'll be quite special. And actually, Q, I have said to you before, and I've messaged and I've mentioned in the videos, but I want to say in person, on a stream, thank you. I just could not have done what we did by myself. I really couldn't. So I appreciate that.
I think you could, but I mean, it's there's a lot to learn. It's not rocket science.
It's balloon science.
Yeah, joke number one. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So yeah, well, there's telemetry and how much gas do you put in the balloon, how do you get it in there, all that stuff.
Just what
So-
Mrs. S says. Did I say that out loud? I do want to just quickly take this opportunity to read out a few super chats because they were coming in during the premiere, so I want to read them, especially Mr. General E. Shady. Let's just quickly go through them to $2 Australian. Like the vid, or Shady comes peering in your window. Then General Shady again for $2 Australian. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a fucking sphere. I don't quite understand that. I'm sure other people work it out. And then General Shady for $2 Australian. Hit that like button, everyone. And Mr. General E. Shady for a change. Thank you, General, for $2 Australian, saying hit like and chat number 1 for brilliance. That's why I saw during the stream loads of number 1s coming up, and I didn't know why. And I catch up on all these. Nadia M super chatted £10 sterling, £10 sterling with a super sticker saying thank you. And Tommy Grunwald super chatted 20 krona. What was he saying? Tommy said, "You're officially a NASA shill now, Mr. Sensible." And the Snark super chatted €2 saying, "Is it beer o'clock yet?" And I told him it was soon. And Andre Puelma, who did the graphic with the curve, super chatted $10,000. Oh, they're Chilean pesos. I don't think it's the same as dollars. But thank you, Andre. And finally, Martin C super chatted $5 Canadian, saying, "I absolutely adore solid citizen science. Freaking awesome." Well, thank you. And excuse me, I see we have a guest, a special guest. We got Fight the Flat Earth joining us. Good evening, Fight.
What's up? What's up? What a good day it is for science. MAGE and the death of Nathan Thompson's Flat Earth group in one go.
I know. I don't know if everyone's aware of that. Perhaps you'd like to share the news.
Yeah, so Nathan Thompson's Flat Earth Science Research Group of 120,000 members on Facebook. It's gone. I'm not to shut up. I'm not laughing. You're laughing.
Oh, dear. It's such a pity, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a devastating day for sensible thinking folks. Have you seen the picture of him that you put on Instagram? I mean, his eyes are so red. He's been crying so hard.
Oh, man. But he's got the biggest official Flat Earth flat group in
Not
all
anymore.
of Flatardia.
Started a new group. It's got about 60 members.
Oh, so he's going to go round and say, "I've got the biggest Flat Earth group with 60 members." Because he still would have the biggest group, wouldn't he?
No, he's just going to claim that he's being censored, and obviously NASA, found out.
Oh, it's brilliant stuff. I got the news about 5 minutes before I went live, so I laughed. I got the news from MC2.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see a couple of people mention something about it in the side chat on MAGE. And I'm going to keep up with these super chats because there's a couple more. Geza the Master Reviewer, super chat $4.99, thank you. Well done, Mr. Sensible. Here's a small donation so you can celebrate the success of MAGE II. Cheers. Nick Nuyens said, "Congrats on a marvellous achievement. But how did that space cheese taste?" The Baby Bell. Haven't done it yet, and Arnold hasn't had his biscuits. That's to come. Conical Reason, $5 Canadian. Hooray for MAGE II. Brainless Steel NL, €5. Thank you, Brainless. Wow, that was something special. Thanks, Mr. S and Mr. Q. Loved it. And Foot Fee. Oh, FTFE. Sorry. Super chatted £5 sterling. Say MAGE and the death of Nathan Thompson's group in the same day. Brilliant, isn't it? And we're joined by one of the sponsors of MAGE and MAGE II, Bob the Science Guy. Hello, good evening to you, Bob.
Well, how are you all doing today? I'm glad to see all the illustrious companionship here.
Yes. You've got Fight the Flat Earth with us and Q. Secret Q.
Secret Q. Hey, have you shown the video of the balloon yet?
Oh my god.
I just got out of work, man. This is the first time I've had a chance to get over here.
Yeah, because this is a discussion stream about the video. Yeah, we have shown it, Bob.
Outstanding. How high-'d you go, man?
Someone will have to remind me exactly. 38,700 and I forget now. 36?
Is that,
something like that.
is that meters or feet?
Meters.
out freaking standing.
It was
Did we
great.
verify the curve of the Earth yet?
Oh, I think we'll let people in the chat say that. Well, and Fight and Q as well. What do you
All
think,
right.
Fight?
Well,
Did you get to see it, Fight?
I'll be quiet now.
Yeah, I think about 19 minutes in, I think was the best shot. I looked and saw quite clear curvature.
Yeah.
Just after about 19 minutes in, you can see it bobbing up and down past the center point and not changing from convex to concave.
Yeah.
It clearly showing that it's not a fish angle lens, and this definitely looks curved to me.
I mean, there is that slight barrel distortion, but as I did in the video, I took a horizon image below, so the curve, the distortion would work against me, and I still show curve. At least I believe I did.
Well, we're going to find out how Nathan Oakley is going to say you're lying in the next few streams, I'm sure.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. And perhaps Nathan Thompson can tell all his... Oh, sorry, Nathan.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
Well, I hear he doesn't have much to do nowadays.
No.
What a shame, man. I mean, the only thing he's ever achieved in his life.
Oh, dear. Oh, Nathan, I'd say we love you really, only we don't.
No, not in the slightest.
No, we really don't.
No.
Sorry.
No. Maybe Q does. What do you think, Q? Do you love Nathan Thompson?
You are kidding.
Not even Nathan Thompson's mum loves Nathan Thompson.
No. And I don't think he even likes his reflection, does he?
No.
I can imagine him going to shave
my
in the
reflection,
morning.
I hate it as well.
I imagine him going to shave in the morning and think, oh, God, can't stand that guy.
God, putting a rating in that through.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, though. Well, all three of you, Fight, Bob, Q, I've had the worst time with this. The largest of those video files was 59 gigabytes. And I had to render all that telemetry over the top. It took 12 and a half hours. And then when I went to play the video, it was just static. And I thought, oh no, I've done something wrong. I kick it off again. 12 and a half hours, and then the same. And I tinkered with it, tried to find out about issues, known issues, couldn't get anywhere. And then I realised that I had changed the name of the output file. Now, this software, Dashware, is a little bit flaky. So I thought, well, I'll let it try and choose its own name, the name of the project. Kicked it off, and after 5 minutes I thought, no, that's stupid, isn't it? And I literally killed the program. It made a video file. I checked it, it ran. Brilliant. So I let it do the whole thing, 12 and a half hours, chose its own name, and the video wouldn't play again. So it's now 36 hours plus of rendering. And then what I did in the end, I found out that as long as I did chunks less than 30 minutes long, it would render. So that was another 12 hours in 30-minute chunks. I was literally up, until 2 in the morning and had to finish it off the next day. It was a nightmare. And I use Filmora for my video editing software. I don't know what you use, Fight or Bob.
I use all Adobe products.
And you, Bob?
Yeah, I use Premiere Pro.
Okay. Well,
and occasionally iMovie.
All right. Oh, I don't do Apple, I'm afraid. So
yeah.
But when I was finally
processing, that's on you now, isn't it?
No. Well, I haven't seen any Apple videos showing the curve of the Earth. But let's not bicker about who killed who. So anyway, I was doing it in Filmora, and it really, really was struggling. I mean, this machine is now 9 years old, and it really does quite well, but it was struggling with that, and it managed to crash Filmora and crash the machine 6 times today. When I finally got it rendered, I was working on that all day, and I literally uploaded it, and YouTube finished rendering it 90 minutes before it went live. Talk about close run thing.
Yeah, I've had several problems with rendering, especially before I got my computer upgraded. Rendering certain files, the computer would just be like, nope, not having that. And then I was trying to, when I did my JM video, the team did the voice of, and I had the audio spectrum up. That took about 16 hours to render. And I was so scared it was going to fail.
I know. It's scary, isn't it? Absolutely scary. I've got.
You should be thankful.
Yeah, go on.
So, Mr. Sensible?
Yeah.
That camera was a 4K camera, and originally it was set to 4K mode, so you'd have had about 110 gigs to get through.
Yeah, well, actually, Mrs. Sensible, because I know we had the discussion, was it yesterday, Q, with Mrs. Sensible as well. She actually said to me today a couple of times, you do need a new computer, don't you? Yes.
I sold them, didn't I?
Well, you say so, Mrs. Sensible.
Well, you don't want to be tearing your hair out, man.
No. And from oi, less of that. Theo Fungi, super chat £5, plugging the Snarks latest tune. Yeah, check out the Snarks channel. Thank you for that, Theo. Brain is still now €5. Mr. S, just a warning, use of the R word and a lot of people will be out. He knows what we're talking about. And hey, Dr. Bob. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Does anyone else know what you're talking about?
No.
The R word. Don't know.
Right, Riley?
Riley, that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah. I need to take a Riley.
And I just say, I've just had a super chat from Phil Up for £50 and he didn't even say anything. Phil, that is incredibly kind of you. Thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. And PhD Tony for $10 Australian saying, have you been taking lessons from Team Skeptic on how to suck? Is that to do with the start of this stream? I've never used Google Meets before. I always do it via Discord. Never mind. So, Bob, it's a shame really because I can't really ask you what you thought of the video.
It was outstanding, man. It's the best video I ever saw in my life.
Excellent.
I mean, it was life-changing. It was life-changing.
Well, look, I mean, Nathan Thompson's given up, before the video even started.
Yeah, and I mean, he knew he was matched. He knew he was outmatched. Definitely
by a polystyrene box with balsa stuck on the front of it. Thank you. So, what did you think was?
Well, frankly, the box has more intelligence. So.
Well, that's true. So does the remains of that balloon, though. So, I'll tell you what I found really interesting because I hadn't looked into it before. Was the whole thing with the temperature gradient the temperature going down and then back up again, and other people had commented on that. I just hadn't been aware of that until we did MAGE.
Yeah, that's exactly as you said in the video, which is it's the Earth heating the lower atmosphere and the sun heating the higher. So yeah, that's what happens.
But of course, as soon as you've got the lower temperature with it, the warmer temperature down below, and then colder temperatures above, that air is heavier. Cold, dense atoms wanting to come downwards, and then you've got all the heat rising, cold falling, and all the crap weather we've got right now.
We have that stuff called weather, don't we?
We certainly do. Certainly getting it this afternoon here.
Damn globe causing all these weather effects.
Yeah,
exactly.
If only someday we could understand them.
I know. Imagine if there was such a thing like, I don't know, science or something that could explain these phenomena.
Yeah. Then your name would be really good then, wouldn't it? Bob, Mr. the Science Guy.
Yeah, that's why I copyrighted the term science. So I get a shilling every time somebody says it.
Well, you're not going to get any off of flat earthers, are you?
Oh, they say science a lot. They just don't understand it. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah. So, someone said in the side chat, if only Spurs was here.
Oh, look at that. Oh, right, sorry. I've just been mucking about. I took a screenshot from your video.
Oh, yeah.
And then I've put it through my software and compressed it and then up the contrast. And wow, is that a good shot of the curve? Can I share my screen?
You certainly can. You should be able to. We did a test of that earlier on. So the rest of us will probably get squished to the bottom, but that's all right.
Window. That's one. Yeah, there we go.
And while there we go. It's coming up.
So that's a screenshot from about 20 minutes in, 20 minutes and 26 seconds. Then I compressed it left to right, up the contrast, and wow, look at that curve.
It sort of goes up a bit and then down a lot.
Well, why don't look at that gas pressure next to a vacuum?
Yeah.
That's insane. How did you send a camera up and get something that's clearly impossible?
I know. I did see that someone said it was only another couple of meters till I'd have hit the dome. If
Yeah.
only we'd have put a little more
Well,
gas
that's
in.
why the balloon popped. That's the thing. The balloon popped as soon as it touched the dome, then the camera came back down. But I mean, that is from the video that you just made, Mr. Sensible.
Yeah.
About 20 minutes in, and then I've just taken it, I've compressed it left to right, up the contrast, so you can quite clearly see not only the curvature of the Earth, but you can see the curvature of the atmosphere above it.
Yeah, and absolutely. And the atmosphere curve is sort of pretty much following the same curve as the Earth, and that curve of the Earth is right across the middle of the screen where you don't get distortion, either pincushion or barrel.
So how if there's a flat Earth, is this explained? Is it some kind of magic? Did you CGI the camera in real time?
So I'm staring at that. And
What sorcery is this?
Can you zoom in a bit? Because somewhere there's got to be a dome there.
It must be. That's the black above it. See, that's what.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to zoom in too much because then the flat earthers would see the whole picture, and we don't want to see the thing that's quite clear.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble there, so to say, Mr. Sensible, but as you know, every single rendition of the dome we've ever seen has been curved.
Well,
so you're not looking at the curved Earth; you're just looking at the curved dome.
But look at that.
Beautiful. Good job, Mr. Sensible.
Thank you very much.
Well research curved dome.
Yeah. Someone said in the chat, I forget who, was asking about the telemetry. Yes, I can make the telemetry available. I will get that sorted out. And I will be uploading a full flight video using that MAGE camera from launch to landing as one continuous shot. The only thing I'll have to do is once it's landed, it sits there for about 30 minutes before I get to it. And I want to get to it to show that it's, from me to me. So that bit, I'll put in a warning and I'll speed it up, 20 times or whatever. But I would make no cuts whatsoever. So flat earthers can pick the bones out of that. They will find no edits in it.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat was asking about the how we stored the telemetry. And we didn't, on the payload, we just broadcast it over the radio. And then we had people down on the ground receiving it. And it was stored down on the ground.
Yeah, well, I'll let you give any explanations for things like that.
You said 59 gigs of data.
Yeah. Well, 59 gigs of video on from one camera.
Oh, from just one camera?
From one camera.
Right.
The others were about 20 to 25 gigs each, I think.
Yeah, no wonder your computer started screaming at you when you tried to render it.
Oh, it was a bit of a mare, but hey, it was worth it. I've really, really enjoyed doing this. It's the most excellent project. My daughter was going to be coming with me for the launch, but she's at uni. So that was a shame because it'd be nice for her to have been there. But she's seen the video anyway.
Yeah.
And PA. Oh, by the way, Juha Eskelinen was the winner of the MAGE patch. Let me just. There we go. Juha, I've got your email address. I will email you, and if you can reply with your landline address, I'll get that sent off to you. Well done, chap. He was only about 300 meters out with his guess, which is not bad at all.
Well, I'm just so impressed that you've actually gone out and done this, and you didn't do it with like a pre-drawn conclusion. You sent it up there to see what we would see.
Yeah.
And there's only one conclusion you can come to from the empirical data that the Earth is not flat. And if you think it is, then you need your head checked.
I know.
This does kind of put that to rest, and we did it, or you did it yourself, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that all that data's tying up. The stuff with the temperature curve, the stuff with that pressure gradient curve, that beautiful curve down. That graphically explains. It graphically explains the atmospheric pressure and how at the bottom you've got all the rest of it above piled on, but as you get higher up, there's less above you. It's simple. It's beautiful. Why can't they get it? Is it just cos?
Oh, they don't want to get it. That's the problem.
Do you think?
No, they don't want to get it. They simply do not want to accept the evidence. And all you need to know is the things that Bob Nadell said when he got his 15-degree drift. What is his very next sentence in that documentary? We then went about finding ways to disprove that it's actually recording the rotation of the Earth. And no, that's not what you do. You don't get results and go, well, how can we make this fit our narrative? You get results and go, well, this is the conclusion that we draw from those results.
But they then came up with that theory of what, heavenly energies, so they went and tested that.
Energies.
But okay, but at least they
put it in a bismuth chamber.
It could be another explanation, so let's test it. But that didn't work either, did it?
No. The other explanation is they don't understand physics.
Yeah. Well, look at all this business over the past 4 weeks with Oakley and his making overtures towards Dan, misquoting him. And totally failing to understand Coriolis.
I've spent the past few days listening non-stop to Oakley because my next video is about him. And oh my God, it's so hard to listen to a Nathan Oakley stream and hear them in their little echo chamber, patting each other on the back like they've said something smart, when they're not understanding simple thing. Oh, well, Bob says it's a 15-degree drift. So that means that if something's in the sky, it should drift away at 15 degrees. No, that's not what that means in the slightest, you absolute... Oh, my God. It's so frustrating. They're so dumb. They don't understand the things that they are like talking about at all. Yet they act like, oh, well done. You just said something extremely clever.
Oh, man. Yeah, because this one of Oakley's recently had something very pertinent with regard to MAGE. I will be doing a video on that. I will have to play a short clip of Nathan, for which I apologise in advance, but I think I bust his ass when I do it, so it's worth it. That'll be coming up at some point. I'm not sure when. I need a break. So does my computer. My computer's literally been running 8 days non-stop, chugging away. Yeah.
Nathan's just jealous that no one watches his show. Like, you've got, what, 220 people watching now, 215, 220? That's twice as many people as Nathan Oakley gets watching his streams, the daily bloody streams that he does. You've been on YouTube for, 18 months or something. He's been on YouTube for about 6 years, and you join more than twice what he does. This just says that Flat Earth is dead, and you just hit the final nail in the coffin.
I hope so. But then, if I have I done us all out of a lot of enjoyment?
No, because Einstein said there's two things that are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and he wasn't sure about the universe.
No, that's right.
It's always going to be stupid, don't worry.
That's okay, then.
Even if we kill the Flat Earth that there is now, there's going to be the next breed of idiots that pick up the same arguments that we can just do the whole dance over with again.
Well, fine. Thank you for putting my mind at rest there.
Hey, mind if I ask a quick question?
The answer is 42.
Of course. Yeah, I think that's how many years it's going to be before my back stops hurting. Hey, have you talked to Craig or anybody about just going over your data and doing a series on it?
I haven't talked to anyone about data. I will make this data available to people. The only thing we've had to strip out is the GPS locations for top secret reasons. But all the altitude, pressure and stuff like that, that's all available.
But if Craig wasn't looking to break some of this stuff down, to be honest with you, I'm so sick and tired of Flat Earth. I'd like to just have something that I could use as science and maybe break this down a little bit.
I'm going to use the evidence in debates a lot, so you feel free to crack on and do a series about it.
All right. Well, I didn't want to take a series you were working on. So
no, it's cool. I've got all my stuff that I'm working on. You feel free to take that.
Thanks, man. Because I haven't really been doing a lot with Flat Earth lately, and I want to kind of now that it's been destroyed, I'd like to kind of go over the evidence and such based on your work.
Well, Bob, I can get that file emailed to you. I've got the original raw version, and then a couple versions where I've done calculations to convert pascals to atmospheres and things like that. What I'll do is I'll give you the whole lot and tell you which columns I've personally added.
All right,
and then
that sounds great. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later on in the week.
Yeah. General Shady, yes, I removed GPS positioning because I don't want locations known. Okay, but all the height information's still in there, air pressure, temperature. So should be good stuff. Yes, I'll get that onto you. Now, Bob, if I If I forget, not be funny. I've had so much on my plate. If I forget, please just email me and I'll happily send it. Okay.
Oh, I will. Thanks.
Cool. Right. I'm just refreshing. Hey, Craig, do you use OBS to actually stream?
No, I use a program called vMix.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's got its own internal video conferencing system and stuff.
Yeah. No, I've heard of it.
I use OBS.
Well, Bob, do you find that super chats come through to the mini feed or not? Mine used to, and they don't anymore. So I have to get super chats via YouTube Studio.
I always use them by YouTube Studio. I generally have a couple things running at once. I generally run several screens.
Yeah, well, I could do more screens.
I've got, well, what I do is I have my computer, and I have a problem doing a window on a Mac because it flickers. So you have to put it on another display. And I just use, I found an old television set, and I just run an HDMI cable to it.
You know how to solve that problem?
You
don't use Apple products.
Well, I have my first Windows PC that I've used in years running right now.
Well, I've got my Windows PC. I've got my 3 screens, but I've also got a Stream Deck, which is something that you might want to look into getting.
Yeah, I've got one.
Mr. Sensible, because it is so. I was thinking about getting a 4th monitor, but the Stream Deck took away the need because you can use the Stream Deck to key up things that you want ready, and it makes the streams so much simpler.
Yeah, I
got one.
I had a look at them just a couple of days ago, and I heard about them. They do look great. My issue is my PC is now so old. I'm not even sure what video outputs it's got on it. So I might have to at some point bite the bullet, and rather than get some stuff now which may or may not work with this machine, I'll probably have to start from scratch. That's what I tend to do. I tend to buy nearly leading edge, and then it lasts a long time. I mean, this one's done very well. I mean, 9 years, I can't complain, really.
Well, what I'm looking for is a used gaming PC, because they generally have really good memory and video capability on them, and you can get them kind of cheap. An old Windows 10 machine or something. Yeah,
well, I think I'm only running with 60. It might be 16 gig of memory. I say only. When I started off in IT, our hard disk drive and the actual machine was the size of a small fridge, was 80 megabyte disk.
Oh goodness! Does Gary Webenanga just follow me around like a bad smell?
Yeah, I think he loves you. I think that was it.
I mean, he's terrified to debate, but he just constantly comes up and says things like, "Bob, the science guy, says we have to steer for Coriolis."
Yes, and he's been asking me about that, Bob. Just before we go on to that, I'll just read super chats. Juha Eska, who I presume is Juha Eska Linen, who won the MAGE patch, has super chatted €9.99 saying, "You made it happen. Real research all the way to the edge of space and back. Thank you, Juha." And like I said, I'm assuming it's you. I'll be emailing you. Gary Isle of White, super chat £5 sterling. Haven't seen a video yet. We'll check it later. Sounds like it was a success, so have a beer on me. Thank you, Gary. I hope you enjoy it. And Generally Shady, again, thank you, Generally. Very generous. $2 Australian. Zoom out. See the studio. Flat Earth word salad incoming. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bob, Gary was asking me about that, and I did have a look. It was as part of a Thompson, an Oakley debate when you were talking about Coriolis, and you were talking about cars, trains, and aircraft.
No, anything on the surface of the Earth, if you change latitudes, the rotational speed is the same. And it just demonstrates how little effect it has. Just the friction of your tires on the road gives you that extra little boost every inch or so.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice it, would you?
Yeah, to maintain pace with it, maintain relative position to the rotation of the Earth. As you go north, obviously it slows down. As you go south, obviously it speeds up, but you can still drive back and forth.
I think part of their problem is scale. They imagine turning at 15 degrees, like turning round a roundabout, sharp turn here. Well, it's not. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and straight.
Well, you see, the thing with aircraft is that the reason the aircraft aren't affected so much by Coriolis is they follow a ground track along the ground. The same thing happens if you were to taxi it along the ground.
Thing is, if you do the actual calculations for the Coriolis force that is applied due to the Coriolis effect, it is so small. And the fact that a plane, a train, a car, they're all powered, and they have the friction of the road for the car and the atmosphere for the plane, these things overcome the minimal Coriolis force that is applied. A plane's got engines.
Yes.
That's millions of times more powerful than the force that's being applied by Coriolis. And the fact that the aircraft is using the atmosphere, which rotates with the Earth. It's not really in a separate reference frame because it's using the atmosphere.
You use that word for
like
reference frame.
I know. It's funny. Listening to Nathan Oakley talk about them. Oh my god!
It's a 1 mile an hour crosswind, which is nothing to an aircraft, and you know the fact that you're going 10 times the speed in an aircraft that you are in an automobile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just the amount of friction between your tires and the road. Kind of, as long as you stay on the road, you're taking into account Coriolis.
Yeah, you don't have to manually correct because of Coriolis. That's going to be done by the fact you're following the road. You know.
Yeah, you follow a track along the ground. It doesn't
Coriolis
matter if it's on a road
anything.
or a rail or a flight track.
Anything going from one latitude to another is going to have a Coriolis effect on it, which will apply a force. But you need to take into account the other forces.
But even leaving all that aside, when you're driving along a dead straight road, you're still making inputs to the steering, little adjustments left and right. That's greater than any steering adjustment you need to make for a Coriolis.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you just belted your steering wheel on we have the Sini Straits up here. It's like 30 miles of absolutely straight road. If I were to put my seatbelt on my steering wheel, sit on the other side and take a nap, I don't think I'd stay on the road very long, even though the car has not moved its actual direction. That's what the little inputs are for. That's why we can't do that.
Yeah. So I did listen to that stream and I enjoyed it, Bob. And they just don't get it, do they? They just don't get it.
They don't understand anything.
No, they would never understand that.
Nathan Oakley constantly says that Bob's gyro measured a 15-degree drift underneath it. He misses the entire point straight away. And then he says, well, that means Coriolis isn't real. No, a fiber optic gyroscope has nothing to do with Coriolis. Has anyone else had realized that Nathan Oakley has a voice that you want to throat punch?
Oh, yes.
Maybe that explains the voice.
Well, I've actually had people, when I've done videos, say, I can't listen to Nathan. Here's a like, but I'm not going to watch the video. So people have actually avoided my videos because of him. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, that's why I'm making sure that I'm making fun of him plenty in my new video and trying to have him actually talking as little as possible. And the problem about doing a video about Nathan Oakley is that all of his videos are like at least an hour long, right?
Yes.
And so you have to wade through the mountains of shit to find the few bits that you can actually use.
The precious nuggets of shit within the shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so much stupidity, you just need to find the condensed nuggets of stupid that are the best bits to use. But honestly, Nathan is he's something else. And whether he is a fake globe earther or a fake flat earther or not, I mean, we've all seen the thing. Don't talk about the lighthouse, perfect globe proof. Yep. Now, whether he is a true flat earther or not isn't the point. The guy is stupid. He woke up his wife to tell her the earth was flat. Like, let's take away that he can tell her the earth is flat and just go with the fact that he woke up his wife. You don't wake up a sleeping woman. What's wrong with you? You want to lose an eye?
Oh, dear. And what about that whole thing about...
Spoken like three married men.
Yes. The whole business with converting, meters into kilometres or the other way around, whichever, I forget which it was. But it's not just that he didn't get it. And you think, well, why don't you get it? But the fact that he called the other guy, he said, what are you, some kind of retard?
Yeah. It's like he's proud of his stupidity, but him being stupid makes the other person stupid. It's like, no. How about you actually go and do some math and understand what he's saying? It's a ratio, you absolute moron.
Oh, man. But, do you know what I said before?
Well, their bread and butter...
Yeah.
Their bread and butter is not that their bread and butter is that not that they don't understand like the second law of thermodynamics, it's their understanding of it is wrong.
Mhm.
And they don't realize that their understanding of it is wrong, and they don't want to hear they don't want to be corrected. And that's fine.
Yeah. That's the thing about intelligent people. We like to be corrected. If we get something wrong, you know what? Tell us, and we will adjust our knowledge. That's why we're smart. But a stupid person, like any flat earther, they can't be corrected. They hate it. There's nothing you can do to tell them that they are wrong. They won't accept the information that you are giving them, and that's the difference.
Well, their sense of self-worth. Holy shit! Hang on. That was just about as American as I could ever get. I almost hit a bald eagle in flight. Let's just contemplate that. I almost had a bald eagle face plant itself on my windshield. But in any event, this flat earthness is their sense of personal identity. If you take away their flat earth, they no longer have an identity and they cease to exist. They just
Can you imagine how empty
into the
Nathan Thompson feels right now? Can you imagine how empty Nathan Thompson must feel right now without his flat earth group?
Oh, bless him.
My 140,000 members that were mostly blocked globe earthers.
I've got a couple more super chats. One from Second Best Bob for £5 sterling. Thanks, Bob. Always thanks, Bob. But this is the other Bob, not that Bob. Bob says,
thanks, Bob.
Towards a new PC, Mr. Sensible. 9 years. Yeah, thank you, Bob. And Generally Shady, again, $2 Australian, saying, GoFundMe, I'll throat punch Oakley. And by the way, I found out what the R word is that people were talking about. And yes, I did use it in a quote. It was Oakley that used that word. I don't use it on my channel myself. So thanks for the message behind the scenes from someone who shall remain nameless.
I understand why people don't like it, but I use it for very specific reasons. But I will respect and not say it on this channel, of course.
Yeah, thanks, Fight. I mean, we've talked about this on my stream before, about how there are so many different styles of debunkers, from people who just outright insult the flat earthers, through to people like, let's say, Creaky, who just points and laughs a bit,
Yeah.
Different strokes for different people. I enjoy all sorts of things, even right through to Jut Monk the Drunk Monkey and his expletive-laden swear fest. I don't know how else to describe it, but I know other people just wouldn't listen to it. But each to their own. Each to their own.
Oh, but flat earthers are stupid. It doesn't matter what word you use. At the end of the day, flat earthers are the dumbest people on the planet.
Well, certainly when it comes to them saying things like that meters, kilometers thing, and calling other people names when they don't understand. I mean, anyone can get something wrong. Fight, or Bob, have you ever had to say in one of your videos, do you know what, sorry, I said this and I was wrong? Because I have, and I would quite happily say that if I find out
Most
wrong.
definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I've been wrong a couple of times.
Yeah. And, why not? There's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, I wasn't wrong about the temperature curve because I hadn't claimed something different, but I learnt about it today. That's the whole point, learn stuff. And thanks
the key to it is you're only wrong about something once. Then you learn and you're not wrong about it again because you use the correct thing.
Well, that's how it should be. But Oakley doesn't quite fulfill that, does he?
No. He just doubles down on it.
Oh, man. Would you like to meet him in a pub without him knowing who you are and just chat to him and tell him what you... Do you know what I mean? So that he doesn't know that you're Fight or you're Bob, and you just have a conversation. I wonder what he's like in real person.
I wouldn't like to be in the same room as Nathan Oakley because whenever I see him, I just think it's...
Sorry, you broke up a bit. Whenever you see him, you just what?
He looks like he's got bad breath. Just like
yeah.
Being on the screen. Imagine he's one of those people that would just stink to be next to. I wouldn't want to meet him.
I would mind having a beer with Dell.
Right.
Oh, that would just be hilarious.
Phuket would be kind of fun to have a beer with.
I'd quite like to meet Riley.
No, Phuket's too depressing. Oh, God, Riley.
He hasn't done much lately.
You'd have salt in your beer, wouldn't you?
I heard he has.
What are you doing with that glass, Riley? No, I didn't want that kind of refill. Thank you.
I understand that he's factory challenged, and I think that would probably be kind of a bad thing. So I don't think I'd want to have a beer with Riley. Besides, he said I should be shot once.
Oh, did he? That's charming, isn't it?
Ooh.
Yeah, he's saying that an American ought to get shot. He's obviously never seen my office and the cases in it. So, that's just kind of
ironic. A British person kind of saying that to an American.
Yeah, I mean, it really isn't really a smart thing to do.
Well, it came from Riley. What do you expect? This was the guy who was officially voted the dumbest fuck of 2019.
I know.
Quite true.
So when is
we
this
all
is the
need
guy.
our 15 minutes of fame, and that was.
He's had far more than 15. He's been doing this stupidity for a long time. Do you remember one of the first stupid things he said? That Earth should have a solar eclipse every month, but we don't see it because it's out at sea. He then bet someone £1,000, and then when he realised that he'd lost that bet, he promptly deleted that channel and started a new one.
But the internet never forgets.
Nope. Hashtag classic Riley.
Yeah, because he was there.
Comments in the chat.
Oh, go on.
But it says, don't have a beer with allegedly Dave.
No. Well, I don't know if you're aware, Fight, but if you ever meet him, never mind about not having a beer, don't shake his hands either.
Oh, I'd never shake a flat earther's hand.
Yeah, well, he washes in it as well. Yeah. Yeah, so you don't even want to touch his hand.
Mr. Sensible, it is dinner time here in northern Michigan. I'm up in the UP and I'm trying to go down and get something to eat. So, you've just destroyed me for the evening.
Well,
not hungry anymore.
It makes a change that you're not driving, Bob, because usually when you're on my channel, you're driving and you suddenly turn into a Dalek and go all robotic, don't you?
I am driving.
Oh, you are? Oh, it's a lot clearer this time.
Yeah, I'm going between Marquette and Iron Mountain, Michigan.
And are you having to account for Coriolis Force on this trip?
No, keep it flat. Hashtag research flat Earth.
I mean, could you imagine if all the flat earthers figured out that we're all just lying? Wait, you said we stopped streaming now, right?
I've got a couple more super chats. Touchpad, 200 Swedish krona. No time for a sex dance tonight, I'm afraid. Here's some. I'm going to have to expand that. Sorry, 1 second. Saying, here's some dancing money to celebrate the death of the flat Earth. Thanks, Touch. And And Crafty Keeler, €2 for the Arnie Appreciation Fund. He was in my bad books tonight. 5 minutes before we were ready to go, he decides to jump on my table, knocks the keyboard, knocked the monitor. I thought I was going to lose the lot. So he wasn't in my best books.
Is this a cat?
Arnold is my cat. Yeah, he's the one I
said. Yeah, no, cats do that. Cats have knocked over my screens when I'm streaming before. We were streaming on Teams channel the other day, and his cat turned off his computer.
In disgust.
I think he just jumped onto the button and was just like, Teams oh no, my cat's just turned off my computer, and the stream goes down.
As bad as kids. Years back with my youngest, I was playing I can't remember what the game was now, and I was doing really well, and my toddler, she was about 4 years old, walked straight in, pressed the button and walked out. Dead. I couldn't believe it. Maybe she'd had enough. And General E. Shady, again, $2 Australian, saying, get me in a pub with Oakley, please. I think General Shady might have a thing for Nathan Oakley,
I mean, I don't want to be near any of them, honestly.
My daughter pulled up the landing gear as I was landing once.
Okay. So grounded for a year, or?
Yes, we got a little talk on that one. Don't touch anything when Daddy's looking at the runway.
A couple of people are asking about Arnold and the cat biscuits. Yeah, I've got the cat biscuits here. They're still sealed up from a flight with MAGE, and the Baby Bell cheese as well. I will do a video with both Arnold trying his cat treats and me trying the cheese, so that is to come. It's not forgotten. Sorry. Do you get distracted with a side chat when you do your streams, Fight?
Yes, I find it very hard to concentrate on doing the streams and listening to the watching the chat because, not only am I trying to produce a stream, but I'm debating an idiot.
Yeah.
Trying to think of interesting insults to point out how stupid they are, and trying to respond to chat and pay attention to super chats is quite difficult. And sometimes I realize that, I haven't said anything for like 30 seconds. Oh shit, I better talk.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I was enjoying the stream so much.
Or looked at the camera. It's always great when the chat's just a little bit off axis from the camera, so it looks like you're staring off into the middle distance.
Yeah.
Like, one of the displays at the Museum of Natural History.
Always reminds me of some Arwen exciting streams where he's just there talking to the chat by typing with the camera, looking at him with no shirt on. I didn't want to see that. Yes. No one wants to see that.
Well, wasn't that sweet, his video when he was shouting and screaming about being on YouTube for 2 years?
That clip's in my new video. Oh, my God.
Oh, good. When's this out, then? I'm looking forward to this.
Tomorrow, probably.
Okay.
I've struggled recently with getting my videos out. I've been in a lot of pain from my chronic pain, and it's at my creativity and my ability to think and get things done. But I finally got this script sorted for episode 49 of Flirts Are Idiots, and it's a really good one. And it's called Flat Earther Has Bull Fetish. And then episode 50 will be coming out relatively soon after that, and you know all about that one because you're helping.
I am. Well, I will make time to do it. I think you said you gave me about 10 days, about 2-3 days ago, didn't you? So, yeah. Oops. But yeah, I roughly know what I'm doing. So
that's cool. It's going to be me, you, Simon Dan, Conspiracy Cats, Planner Walk, Team Skeptic, and Brainy Beaver.
Nice one. Fight. I don't know if you realised that. Who was it? It was Nathan Oakley. He named the top 3 worst debunkers. Globe believers. Myself, Simon Dan, and Thunderfoot. He ignored you.
I know. I was devastated that he didn't include me. But then again, the only time I ever went on his channel, I made him look like an absolute fool. When I went on his channel, one of the best things that happened was when he was asking me for evidence of gravity, and I started talking about the Pound Rebec's experiment with the gravitational redshifting of light. And he just then went off on a tangent about who's Rebecca, because the experiment's called the Pound Rebec experiment.
Oh gosh!
He just wouldn't leave alone. Rebecca said this. No, there's no one called Rebecca. That's not how this works.
But you see,
what is wrong with you?
You see, if we were having that discussion and you brought that up, I would say, "I'm sorry, I've never heard of that before. I don't know anything about it."
Yeah, no, he instantly went, "No, who's Rebecca?"
And just try. You can't bluff your way through this sort of thing.
They try. They try very hard.
Steve6464 super chatted $5 US. If the Earth was flat, Arnold would have knocked everything off by now. Well, he had a darn good try with my desk tonight. Thank you for that, Steve.
Cats would have ruined the world if the Earth was flat. Anyone that doesn't have a cat, what you don't realise is that there's a difference between cats and dogs, right? Dogs have owners. Dogs have people that look after them. They've got someone that goes to their every need, but cats have servants.
Definitely.
There's a difference. Dogs have owners, cats have servants.
Yeah, well, Arnold, he's my boy. He'll follow me around, and normally he's not a problem. He's got a chair he sits in here. He's got his own cat flap into the studio. But just tonight he decided, well, sometimes he'll just curl up on the desk and that's fine. But tonight he just decided to wait until I'm doing something and then just jump straight in there. 3 times I think he did that, and I got fed up with him. So there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, Q has cats as well.
Gary Webenenga just hanging around in the chat. Why don't you stop talking nonsense and respond to the fact that Mr. Sensible literally just recorded the curve of the fucking Earth?
Yeah, I hope you saw that, Gary. We'd like an explanation. Where's the dome? Where's the ice wall? Why does the atmosphere reduce in pressure? I'd like some answers. I want to hear what Spears has to say, because he said on a debate stream with me fight, he said there is no gradient. The air pressure stays the same up to 50 miles.
Oh my God.
Has he never been in a lift or anything?
I know. Almost as bad as Spurs Chemo saying that, no, it's not pressure, it's just a change in temperature.
Yes. And I just busted that as well, didn't I? Because he tried to tell me that the balloon will burst because it gets so cold. Well, it burst around 0 degrees, but it had been down to about minus 35, and it didn't think about bursting then. Yes,
Gary.
Well, what's Gary up to now?
He just keeps posting his normal copy pasta things. You know, he threatened to sue somebody because they were taking his copy pastas and changing them. He said that, he was going to sue them for like altering his work.
Work. Oh, that's a good one, Gary.
Well, actually, I've got kind of a unique take on that. Is I generally don't credit flat earthers for putting things out that have been put out 27,000 times by other flat earthers, because it's not original work anymore. So I don't really feel the need to credit their video for it, because they're just repeating something that's already been said.
I don't like to credit flat earthers videos because, let's face it, people like me, Mr. Sensible, and Bob, we watch flat earthers videos so you don't have to. So we don't need to show you where the video is. We can show you the stupid parts. You don't need to go and watch it yourself. We take that for you.
Well, I mean, I personally...
Well, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, Craig.
Yeah, I know, right?
I personally, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I've just...
We cut years off of our lives, and I think I have less hair now than I had 2 years ago.
Yeah, so have I. I do tend to put links to them, but then when they do my videos, I expect them to link back.
I don't hide the video. I mean, you can see what the link is on the screen. You can do a search for it if you want, but if you don't come up with something original, if you come up with something original, I'll give you credit for it, because hey, cool, finally something original. But I'm not gonna, who am I gonna attribute? Well, it's flat because it looks flat too. Seriously.
Well, we've got another guest come in. Oh,
so I see Jose in the chat asking to see the picture of the curve. There it is, Jose. There's the curve quite clearly.
And Brother Grief was asking, had we shown any videos on the stream? No, we haven't, Brother Grief. Everything is in the MAGE video, which streamed at 9 o'clock. But as you can see, Fight's taken a screen cap and processed it. And we've got Colon has popped in and joined us. Hello, good evening, Colon.
Good evening, Mr. Sensible. I've got my beer. I've had a fantastic night. Nathan Thompson's been slighted off of Facebook. And FTFE, Bob, and Q, and yourselves are making me really happy.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
Hasn't it been fun?
That's our job, my friend. That's our job.
I just want everyone to just take a minute. Just take a minute, and I want you to picture this in your mind right now. Nathan Thompson just crying. He's going to be sat in his car crying that his Facebook group's been taken away. Just get that image in your mind. How good does that make you feel? Oh, the sweet tears of sadness.
Yeah, and he hasn't even got a beer.
No.
Oh dear.
Poor Nathan.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I had to drop in. I've got 30 minutes before the Shills kicks off tonight, so I'll be dropping in there. You never know. We might be talking about you a little bit later on as well, so that should be fun.
Cool.
Nice to meet you, Colin.
Yeah. Oh, have you not met before?
Well, I think we've spoken a few times.
Yes, we have. I've been sending FTFE stuff for ages. Did promise to send him a gyroscope at one point, but I haven't got around to that yet. I couldn't find a locking mechanism, and it's a bit delicate in the post.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm always here ready if you're able to figure it out.
Oh, as soon as I find that locking mechanism, I will get it to you, and you can have a bit of a play.
Jose says, I saw a tiny manipulated image. Oh, well, thank you for sharing. Well, all I did, Jose, was compress it from left to right and bring the contrast up so that you could quite clearly see the curve of not only the Earth, but the atmosphere. I don't understand why you're being so weird about it. But
yeah, Jose, Martin H. just below has put a link to the MAGE video. If you watch that,
I'm thinking that might be
if you go to 20 minutes, 28 seconds in, that's where I took my screenshot from. You can quite clearly see the curve of the Earth.
Yeah, zoom out in 1080p to a nice big screen, maybe even 4K. You never know; it might be uploaded in that a bit later on, at some point, and try manipulating it yourself.
I know. Could Mr. Sensible's video computer cope with rendering that in 4K?
Probably not.
Probably not. No, I think I'll agree.
Your render will be ready in 3 years.
You do realise the hamster has suffered greatly the last week inside that
It
machine.
would be like the Earth 1 from Hitchhiker's Guide when it's 10 minutes before coming up with the answer. It will get destroyed to make way for a hyperspace bypass or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, Kiri Mac, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that brilliant?
One of my favourite writers is Terry Pratchett.
Yeah.
And,
Terry Pratchett's where I did most of my flat Earth research.
Brilliant. And one of his things is about the camera gimp, little imps inside the cameras. And I'm thinking the little imp inside Mr. Sensible's computer giving it, you want me to do what?
Well, it's been fun and games with it anyway. Yeah, Jose, come on, give me a chance. I was on your stream the other day. We were talking, I've forgotten the guy's name, with a guy called John about the black swan and that ball with the magnifying experiment. You know that I'm a straight guy. So have a look at the video and then comment. I think you might be surprised.
Wait, you're a straight guy? What am I bothering hanging around here for then?
Yes, but one does like to try different things every now and then.
I didn't meet up with Dr. John D, did by any chance?
No, I don't know. I don't think it was John D. It was John someone.
Okay.
But whoever it was, he was perfectly pleasant. I had no idea who he was. We had a nice chat. It was okay.
Yeah, well. So, anyway. What can you do when Flat Earth is dead?
Oh, John Bearhard, someone's saying. John Bearhard? Oh, John. Oh, God.
The thing is, right, everyone, there's so much stupid, right, that what's going to happen is we're going to have, by 2050, like 1 million people living on Mars, according to Elon Musk, right? So then give that 300 years, right? There's going to be a couple of hundred people living on Mars, and there will be a sect of them that will be like, no, don't lie to me and say we came here from Earth. That's all a myth. We quite clearly live on a flat Mars. But there's always going to be stupid.
Well, that's good. Apparently, someone's saying that Nathan's attempting to start a new channel or a new group or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, he started a new group. And it
on Arsebook or Twitter or something?
Oh, yeah. Within 2 hours, it had gained 90 members. I mean, considering his previous group had apparently 140,000 active members, yet he can't gain more than 100 new members within a couple of hours, kind of says something to me.
Yeah. It would almost be worth us all joining just so we could all leave again at the same time.
I can guarantee you we're already pre-blocked.
Oh, Jane Doe's just super chatted $4.99.
Didn't PewDiePie start a channel once as a joke, and by morning it had 200,000 members?
Who?
Yeah, but PewDiePie can do whatever he wants, though. He is the god of YouTube.
It's quite frankly true.
Yeah.
So the super chat from Jane Doe, $4.99. Flirfs will... Oh, gosh, this is a problem. Sorry. Flirfs will, unfortunately, find a reason to deny the results of MAGE II test. Great panel, and so good to have Dr. Bob back on the scene. Definitely. Oh, well, there you go, Bob. You've been welcome back. Oh, he's gone again.
He's just crashed his car. He's just driven off the flat Earth.
Oh, dear. In shock. He didn't account for that Coriolis, did he?
I'm here. I just missed what you said.
Well, I just read out a super chat, and someone just said it's good to have you back on the scene. That was Jane Doe. Said it's good to have you back.
No, he's gone again.
Not that he's ever gone anywhere. Be honest, no, Bob's been doing stuff for ages. You've been doing the astrological stuff, haven't you, dude?
Yeah,
Doing
the
some,
astrological
skywatching
stuff. You betcha. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been.
No, I'm just kind of going through a little hilly area right here. So I talk to you when I'm at the top of the hill, but I can't talk to you from the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, but if there's satellites, why should Hill matter?
There's like a line of sight. It's almost like there's a line of sight to the towers or something because, the Earth curves and has undulations in it.
He's not on a sat phone, FTFE.
Did you just presuppose a globe? That's a fallacy.
And you're talking about undulations. Well,
Be a flat earther.
Bev Try Thinking will disagree, won't he?
No, I really did. It was kind of fun. It was fun. It's fun to listen to what they are.
Oh no, that's why when I was on Nathan's channel, every time he said fallacy, and it shut him up. He didn't know how to respond.
Oh, Nathan has really
Oh,
got it going off to Pat, hasn't he? Saying, you know, it's this sort of fallacy of your presuppositional, fundamentalist, religious, and he's just got those several strings of words he'll just splurge out like tongue twisters.
Thing is, he's done 2,340 of his flat Earth, and I'm using air quotes when I say this next word, debate. Right? He's done so many of them that, of course, he's got that script down. You know, and that's the thing. He can say it so authoritatively, so fluidly. Like it makes it seem like he knows what he's talking about. But that's just because he's practiced saying shit so much.
Yeah, but he can't say it as fast as Witsit.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
He is
Witsit,
a word
if you're watching this, Witsit, stop being a coward. You wanted to debate me, yet you have run from every time I have tried to debate you, Witsit. And I will debate you on any channel that will host us. Mr. Sensible will host a debate between us.
I'll happily do that, yeah.
Fun. I know you're going to be listening to this, Witsit, because you all watch all these streams. Stop being a coward.
Wasn't QE supposed to be on MC2 the other day?
Oh, yeah, but he demanded £1,000 in his Facebook, otherwise he wasn't going to turn up. In his PayPal, otherwise he wasn't going to turn up.
What?
Oh dear!
He said, I'll debate you. But then when it came to it, he was like, yeah, well, I need £1,000 deposited in my PayPal before I turn up.
And can I just say, Mark, yeah, I checked that. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, someone else was talking about that, about demanding money to appear in a debate. Did you ever hear, though, Fight, what Nathan Oakley demanded of me to go on a neutral channel?
Possibly the same thing that he demanded of me, that I suck his balls and look him in the eyes.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
So you said you debated him. So had you taken him up on that then?
I kept saying to him that I'd do it if he presents them, but I imagine he's as flat as a Barbie doll down there.
It's pathetic, isn't it?
When I went onto the channel, to just troll him for a bit, he actually said he was going to put his balls in my mouth 33 times during that 1 hour that I was on his channel.
What is wrong with that guy?
Several things.
Oh, it'd be interesting to have a psychiatrist watch a couple of his streams and then,
have a fit.
Yes.
Give up. I can't deal with this. I didn't expect this.
Section 136 in, which people in the UK will understand. Section 136 is when someone is locked away for their mental health, well-being, and safety of themselves and others.
I think all flat earthers should be locked away.
Well, I mean, he's just obnoxious, isn't he?
Well, I stopped antagonizing him because I'm kind of concerned about his family and I don't want to set him off. So, I mean, that was why I quit dealing with Nathan.
Hold on. I don't know where Eric is. I did look for him. You might have seen on MC Toon's video. Yeah, I didn't find him.
No,
I've got no idea where he is.
Eric's been hiding for a while.
He's very good at hide and seek, isn't he?
Yeah. I've also been looking for Mark Sargent. I've sent Mark Sargent at least 20 emails saying that he's welcome to come on my channel for a conversation.
No joy.
He emailed me back once and said, because I don't use my real name, he won't come on. But guys, anyone here know my name? Anyone?
I know your name. Well, your first name.
Yeah.
I know you.
I imagine most people know.
We're Facebook friends.
Yeah. I've never hidden the fact that I am Craig McNeil. You know?
You just doxed yourself.
Oh my God.
Mr. Sensible, listen, guys, I'm sorry about this, but I'm going to have to jump off because I've got to go and produce the shills. So I will see you guys all soon. Have fun. Great, Mr. Sensible. Love it.
Thank you,
Absolutely
C.
Love it.
Appreciate
Ciao
it.
now.
Have fun with the shills.
I have to jump off as well, bud.
Thank you, Craig.
No worries. I'm glad I got the chance to pop in and say congratulations and seriously, good work. There's at least 3 or 4 things that I already use that you've done in my debates as evidence. And when people like you are actually doing this stuff, it makes my debates so much easier. So thank you.
Well, no, my pleasure, and thank you very much for coming in tonight. I really, really do appreciate it.
No worries. Congratulations. Good job.
Thank
Speak
you.
later.
You take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right.
Take
Well,
care,
he
Craig.
was a very nice man, wasn't he? So, where are we then? Yeah, Bob.
About
I
5 minutes from dinner.
But what I was going to say to you, going back briefly to the whole Coriolis, is they cannot grasp the difference between ballistic and powered objects.
No,
It's
nor
mad,
do they
isn't
want to. Well, they just don't want to. Like I said, it would destroy their entire sense of being. Their little ids are probably protecting themselves by making them stay in denial.
What do you think the root cause is? I think that for most of them, it's a religious basis for where they're coming from.
Yeah, it very well could be. But, I think what it is these are people that just have no power in their life.
Yeah.
Or, no respect. And when they get online here and suddenly they're an expert on something and everybody knows their name, and it's very important for them to have that. And taking it away from them is an affront against their entire identity and must be met with a full protective response.
So you think it just makes them feel a little bit special?
Yeah, well, most definitely it makes them feel special because they have special knowledge, that the rest of us dolts don't have. And that makes them feel somehow superior to us.
But then, and I don't really want to harp on about him, but with Oakley, I don't think it's that. I think it's just purely he's found a revenue stream, which unfortunately for him is shrinking.
Yeah, I agree with you. He does that for money. He knows full well the earth isn't flat.
Not
As a
so.
matter of fact, I talked about doing a GoFundMe and paying for a polygraph test at whatever town in the Midlands he lives in.
He won't do that.
Make arrangements with a local constable to see whether or not they'd run a polygraph test on him for a fee. See what happens.
Well, Rachie00000 says, "No, Mr. Sensible, I was atheist when I turned flat Earth." Well, listen, Rachie, I'm not saying that all flat earthers are religious, and that if you're religious you become a flat earther, but I think a large number of them are, and I think it stems from those that are Bible literalists and then see things about the four corners of the earth, or the earth spread out and the dome or firmament above, and from that everything else follows through, because if you've got a flat earth you can't have gravity, so then you've got to find all the reasons against that. Not everyone, of course.
Well, if you have gravity, you can't have flat Earth.
No,
and
'cause it would
therefore it
collapse.
must be denied. Same thing with space. You can't have space
Yes.
and have a flat Earth. And it's scientific creationism was pretty well beat up, which was just a fundamentalist type of literal Bible literacy or literal interpretation of the Bible. And that kind of got beat up and became unfashionable. And then what it did was it just basically emerged as flat Earth. I mean, it's just a rehashing of the same thing. All the arguments are exactly the same, etc.
And of course, what's his name? His Earth Not a Globe. Samuel Burley Rowbotham. He was a con man, and he used to do flat Earth talks. And he apparently was, very much had the gift of the gab, and he made a living out of it. But he was a con man.
Well, the closest thing you'll see to that is Oakley. Rowbotham's big thing was that he could try and out logic and out argue you using, or shall I say, misusing the rules of debate to try and invalidate your points. How do you know that that's that? Well, do you know it personally? If you haven't done it personally, you can't know it. Well, first, I don't accept that. I don't need to know something personally for it to be true.
Well, you can't, can you?
No.
You think of all the things we rely on. Electric. I don't know how they, all the details of how they produce electric, transport it, how my computer works. I've got some sort of rough idea. You just don't need to. You have to rely on other people and their expertise.
Well, I always maintain, if you go on that, if you go on that logic, I can maintain childbirth is not painful because I've never experienced the pain of childbirth.
Oh,
Therefore, it can't exist.
I did. Mrs. Sensible punched me when she was giving birth.
Oh, I hid. I wasn't allowed in the room.
Oh, really? I was in the room for all three of mine, and the second one I cut the cord on. Third one they didn't allow me.
We had C-sections, but there were certain parts of my wife I want to remain a mystery, like her small bowel, and so I kind of stayed up there. I kind of stayed up there and kept her company.
Yeah, I understand. General Shady, $5 Australian dollars, said Eric did a super yoga position and has lost his head up his arse again. Oh wait, he's been that way for years. And Hugh Jars, good evening, Hugh. Hugh Jars is super chatted $2 Australian, saying I came in late. How far did MAGE II go laterally? Laterally, Q.
20-30 feet.
Q, can you think? Because I didn't work out how far we went.
I think it was about 60 miles, but it went further than that.
Double backed, of course, a couple of times.
Share my screen. Let me see if I can.
Oh yes, you have some things prepared. I forgot about that.
Oh yes.
Oh, sorry.
Let's try that one there. See what happens. The right one. So is that one? Is that showing?
That's showing a red squiggly line. That's all I can see.
Yeah. So this is the launch point just here on the left, and if you remember, it went west and then did a 180 and came back, and it actually passed the launch site by about a mile and a half. That's about a mile and a half there.
And at one time, it was predicted to go directly over my home, wasn't it? And land within 2 miles of my home. And I had travelled quite a distance to get to the launch site.
One of the predictions was, I can show you another screen, which is this. So that's just a random prediction for a flight tomorrow. Starting down here, burst there. So all the way up here, it's getting higher, and it's going from a wind which is going to the northeast, and then east, and then southeast. And then on the way down, it does the opposite. But obviously, the first part of this curve here is much quicker because it's very thin air, and then lands over this way. If I choose another day, you can see the kind of thing.
Yeah, this will be quite interesting for people if you can change the weight or the gas and show how it changes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So first off,
so everyone knows this is the sort of prediction software that we use based on the weight of MAGE, the weather conditions, and the type of gas and so on, and it varies all the time. So let's do. And you can affect it,
right? And you get a short flight. So that would be a small balloon, very small. Actually, that's 2,000. Let's try 20,000. And does that. And then you could just launch a bit later in the day. And that's quite a big difference.
That is, isn't it?
Which, and some days you might want to do that. You might want to wait a few hours to avoid landing somewhere you don't want to land.
So you've actually got quite a bit of control, haven't you? You're still reliant on the wind and the weather at the actual point of launch, but you've got quite a bit of control of choosing your hoped-for target.
It depends on the day. So this flight here, all of the winds are going basically the same direction. So you can change the length of that line, but you can't make it land over here. You just don't have that because there's no bend. But if you look at the flight we had, so that's going up. We could have moved it.
Are you able to zoom in a little because it's going to be quite small on the screen?
So that's there we are.
So that's the landing place.
Yes. We were about down here.
Yes, and looking at that, the top right sort of portion was the area near where I live. And then it changed, and it ended up, I think, about 30 minutes away from where I lived.
Yeah.
Live. What? Maybe Mrs. S is going to throw me out, and it is lived.
So if the balloon had kept flying longer, it would have landed further east.
Yes.
and if it burst earlier, further west. So, and this kind of thing happens generally in the summer. So the low-level wind goes from east to west, and that high-level west to east. In the winter, everything goes to the east.
Yeah.
So here's another thing which is interesting, which is that's just a random flight. And this outer ring is the radio horizon. So that's basically, if you're on that line, that circle, the balloon is on the horizon. It's even though it's...
Sorry, again, can you just zoom in a little just to make it easier for people on the stream to see? Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm looking to see. Okay. So anywhere within this large circle, you should be able to receive the signal from the radio on the balloon within that circle. And as the balloon goes up, that circle gets bigger because, of course, you're seeing further around the curvature of the Earth. If the Earth was flat, that circle wouldn't exist. You'd be able to receive it anywhere.
Yes.
Across the whole surface. No trouble at all.
Of course, we had 2 trackers. Are you happy to divulge the names of the trackers we had on MAGE?
Yeah. Cheese and Logic.
Hey, Bob, have you ever done anything with high-altitude balloons at all? Oh, has he died now? Are you there, Bob?
I think he's crashed into that bird, isn't he? So here, this balloon here is lower than the one over here. You can see that the circle's much smaller.
Yes, but between the two, you've got one. What was that? France or Belgium? France.
This one up here, yeah, that's Netherlands.
Netherlands.
It's on that track. That's actually the prediction there. So we have a 14 gigabyte data set with the wind level, wind strength and direction for every point on the globe. And it is a spherical data set. So it's not a disk data set.
Sorry, I was ordering.
That's all right. I just said, Bob, have you ever done or had any involvement with any high altitude balloon stuff?
No, I haven't.
But you're doing astronomy stuff now, aren't you? Videos and so on.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I can live stream the telescope now if we ever actually. I haven't seen a star in 2 weeks though. Welcome to northern Michigan.
Yeah.
But I can actually control the telescope remotely from about 100 feet and do it in real time and stream it.
Can you hook it up to the internet and let people control it?
Yeah. Can I hook it up to the internet and let people control it?
Yeah.
Technically, yes, I could.
Or do you think they just miss it around?
Oh, I doubt they can't break it.
No.
So maybe one of these days I might do that. Let people say, "Hey, what do you want to see?"
Yeah.
But then you have to understand how to use ATP and stellarium and get all that stuff together and be able to actually do a plate solve on it. Because the telescope will point to, say, Mars, and you look and Mars isn't in the viewfinder. So what you have to do is you have to take a picture of the background stars, and it'll tell you exactly what the telescope is pointing at. So instead of being pointed at Mars, it'll point to where it really is pointing, and then you have to move it again, and it locks in on Mars. So you see.
I was looking at some of these computer-controlled telescopes, and is it the case that it will recognise, because it said point it at 2 or 3 big major stars, and it works out its location? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, it'll do that.
That's quite astonishing.
Well, we have star charts that are very, very detailed, and what they do is they take 3 stars and they draw a triangle between them. Mm-hmm. And then, they do that throughout the entire visible star field, and then you look at the pattern of the triangles and we'll say this is where you're looking. And, if you're within 5 or 10 degrees of where you think you are, and say solve this plate, it'll take you exactly where it is. If you have no idea what you're looking at, it'll take a little bit longer, but you can literally figure out where you're looking from any picture of the background stars. It's just a matter of how long it'll take to figure it out.
Yeah. It's quite astonishing. That makes it very easy for someone who's extremely amateur to have a good time with a telescope.
Oh, absolutely. It's just one of those things. Let's look at some deep sky objects. The only thing that you have to do is you have to be kind of careful about what you're looking at any particular time. For example, it's a different type of a telescope and a different level of magnification to look at planets than it is to look at, say, the Heart and Soul Nebulae. You need a lot of magnification,
Yes,
and a big aperture to look at planets, but you need actually with a telephoto lens to look at nebulae.
yes.
They're too large to be seen if you put too much magnification on them.
Well, I actually have rather a large pipe, which I rescued from a skip many years ago because I was intending on making a Dobsonian telescope, but I just never got around to it. I've also got a rotating base which I saved from rather a nice chair. Whether I'll actually ever get round to building it, I don't know. But then looking at those computer-controlled ones, it makes me think, is it worth all the effort of making a large dob when I probably would get a lot more fun from one of those computer-controlled ones?
Well, you'd have a lot more fun because you can always add magnification with lenses. They're called Barlow lenses.
Yes.
And, I've got a 2, a 3-time, and a 5-time Barlow. So I can take my relatively small 4-inch telescope and I can put a 5-time Barlow on it and get some good detail out of Jupiter. Jupiter itself is so bright that you're not going to have a major problem with it fading away to nothing. You can always put magnification on, but you just can't take it off.
Sorry, Bob.
Very much.
June Storms just said, is this Bob the Science Guy from northern Michigan? Yes, it is that Bob the Science Guy. Not a different Bob the Science Guy,
It is that Bob the Science Guy. Yep, that would be me.
Yeah. Actually, Bob, I realised I got a bit sidetracked, and it's very interesting talking to you about telescopes, but I think Q's got a couple more balloon things that he wanted to present.
Yeah, so this balloon here is what's called a floater. So the one we flew,
Yes, I mentioned that, and I got some giggles when I mentioned that.
So these float in the air. So it's a plastic balloon which runs out of lift at a certain altitude and doesn't burst. So it stops going up and just stays going horizontally. So that's the last day over there.
How long can one of those stay up for?
How's that getting GPS out there? Is it masts? Can't be.
Really, really tall masts? I don't know.
Yeah, it's really tall.
How long would one of those sort of designed floaters? Because of course, if we got all our sorry, how long?
A year or so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And what about one of the latex ones like we had? If we miscalculated and ended up with a floater, which could have happened, how long would that last? Because I know that they start to perish in sunlight anyway. But how long
exactly. Usually about a day, and then the sunlight gets to them, and they burst.
Which is actually quite important because we had people asking, why didn't we test the balloon for MAGE-I? You can't really. You don't handle the balloon.
We flew it.
You can only really touch the balloon wearing gloves, can't you? Because the oils from your hand can damage it.
It's very, very sensitive. No, it's totally impractical to try and test the balloon first. Yeah. And if you did, you'd probably end up damaging the balloon before you flew it. So no, just fly it. So this balloon here has been going for quite a while. If I click on this tab, that's what it's been doing.
Oh my goodness!
So obviously that's a projection, but does that look like what you'd expect for a flat Earth? Running circles around the
flat Earth? No, I don't quite understand how that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost as if the wind's going west to east around the front. And what would cause that? I think it might be Coriolis, actually. But there you go. But in fact, the jet streams, as I understand it, that's hot air at the equator going up, and then as it goes south, it's going faster than the air around it and creates these jet streams. And that balloon is following one.
So what sort of speed would that get up to?
If it's in a jet stream, it could be doing 200 miles an hour easily.
It's incredible.
It's
Isn't
probably
it?
a bit below. It's probably going a bit slower, to be honest. But
And what would they be using a balloon like that for?
just fun.
Just for fun.
Just fun. just to do it. And that's an amateur balloon. That's not a professional. That's not NASA or anyone
wow.
else. That's an amateur.
And actually, just to jump back to you, Bob, if you're still there, someone, Tony Regime, in the chat said, would it be possible to use two telescopes 2 meters apart to make an optical interferometry telescope? Now, that's nothing I know about, so I can't comment. But would you know about that?
Well, actually, they have a large binocular telescope, but quite frankly, that's kind of above my pay grade. Remember, I'm very much an amateur in this.
Yes.
But they do have large binocular telescopes, and I mean, we're talking with apertures in the range of meters, and they're just side by side. I will tell you though that looking at objects with binoculars gives you a very different impression of them than looking at them through a telescope.
Yes.
And I've got some binoculars that I can look at the moons of Jupiter and the rings of Saturn and the Andromeda Galaxy with.
Well, I used to look at Jupiter and watch the moons of Jupiter, and I was always fascinated with I'm never sure how you say it. Pleiades.
The Pleiades, yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
In
Absolutely
the
gorgeous.
constellation of Taurus.
Yes.
And that's something that's very interesting. But they use the moons of Jupiter to determine the speed of light. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. But I'll just say, Gary, you said that I'd asked my mods not to time you out so much. The mods will time you out if you're inappropriate. You're allowed to say things that are anti-globe or whatever. That's fine, but just don't keep copy pastoring. But I don't know what it is you've done. Okay, and I see we've got multi-Tom in the house. Good evening to you, Tom. I hope you've had a look at the MAGE video. If not, that you are going to, because I'd like to see you do a debunk video on that. I want you to debunk the curve of the Earth that I have shown.
I don't want him to debunk it. I want him to actually understand.
Yeah.
The fact that the Earth really is a sphere and his beliefs are wrong, and finally come to that self-awareness and realization.
You live in hope, don't you, Bob?
Yes, I do. It's a curse that I have. I always try and look at the bright side of things.
Well, that's nice. And actually, I'm going to say again, because I said it in the video and at the top of the stream, that Bob the Science Guy, along with Just Shoot Me and Arctic Haze, are the sponsors of MAGE and MAGE II, for which I'm very grateful. And of course, I've also had lots of support from members, super chats, patrons. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. So, Bob, do you think you got your money's worth?
Actually, I'm going to be sending you some more money because I got more than my money's worth, and I'm going to donate towards the computer fund.
Oh, Bob, that's extremely kind of you. Listen, there is no need, but I very much appreciate it. You're very kind. But I'm just glad that you thought, well, yeah, you know what I mean? That was worth it. And I don't think, oh, well, that was a letdown. That would have been a shame, wouldn't it? It must be a good lunch Bob's having.
I've just gotten, no, the waitress was just here, and she just brought me this lovely prime rib.
Ooh.
And I'm going to have a little piece of it now. And I've got some English horseradish sauce here, the creamy kind.
Yeah. Well, this is good, isn't it? Live streaming, lunch with Bob.
My goodness, it's supper here. But it's really lovely.
We just need video now.
Yeah. Can you stream it on video? Actually, knowing the connection you got, Bob, it would probably kick you out then, wouldn't it? Well, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Live stream meals. Do you think there's a market for this? I know there's a market for feeders, those people who pay people to eat a lot of food. Screen broadcast. Oh my goodness. We're going to see Bob's lunch, I think. It's trying. I don't know if you can hear me, Bob. We still just see the screen broadcast holding page. Oh, Arctic Haze, you're happy with it as well? I didn't. Yeah, it didn't work, Bob. Never mind. I'm sure your lunch is lovely. Yeah, Arctic Haze. I'm so glad you're in here. I think I saw you on the MAGE stream at one point, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And as I just said just a minute ago, I'm very grateful to all the support I've received from everybody. And actually, I'll take this opportunity while Bob's reloading and doing whatever to have a look at Super Chats, because I think there might be a couple in there. Let's have a quick look. So IMD Fox Super Chatted €5, saying the first sign of Oakley's anger problem shows in his Vice interview. When asked can he prove the flat earth, the irritation is in his answer. And David Oliver Super Chatted £5, saying, hello Bob, the science guy from Northern Michigan, how are you? Well, it looks like Bob's having a great meal.
All right, so you've got me now?
Got you now.
All right, how about now?
See you take. Oh man. Oh, that looks good. Fabulous. Well, that's a first for my live streams. Thanks for that, Bob. Oh wow. Another first. That's
that was
wonderful.
just a little different way of doing it.
That looks great.
It is. It's it's almost as good as Nathan losing his channel. Of course, Nathan losing his channel will keep me satisfied for days or weeks, whereas I'm going to have to eat something else tomorrow. But
well, I don't know. Look at that steak. I think that'll keep me going for quite a while. My mouth is watering now. Thanks, Bob.
That is a lovely prime rib at the Green Acre Restaurant in Iron Mountain, Michigan.
Big
One
shout
of my
out
favorite
for them.
places.
Nice
That's
one.
right.
Yeah. Have they got a website? Maybe we should shill it out. Oh,
No, I don't know. You can look up Green Leaf Restaurant in Iron Mountain, Michigan.
well, Bob, there's a message here from Steve6464 says, all that red meat from a doctor?
Yep. I'm gonna wash it down. With a couple of donuts and some alcohol and maybe a cigar.
Wow. Well, I suppose
And
the
then
good thing is, as
Then
a
I'm gonna
doctor,
find somebody to cough on me.
as a doctor, you can then sort yourself out, can't you, if there's any problems. And cat
Darn
horse,
straight. I had a cardiac cath when I was 41. I'm clean as a whistle, and that's my story, and I'm staying with it.
absolutely. Cat paw as well says, is that healthy? But listen, there is nothing wrong with eating anything. It's the eating to excess that's a problem. Having a steak is great. If you had the steak twice a day, every day, I guess that would cause you issues. But there's nothing wrong with having it all these, treating yourself. Or do you have it every day, Bob?
No, this is kind of a treat. I actually eat pretty well. And, I've had a long week. This is a special week for me. Plus, I'm dealing with, an injury right now, so I haven't really done too much in the last couple of weeks. And quite frankly, I'm treating myself a bit.
Good for you. And why not? You got my vote, as does the steak.
Yeah, this is a nice place. This has been an exciting week for me. And
I'm not trying to pry. Is there anything you can or want to share, or is it just stuff you can't talk about?
I got my first command this week. I'm a squadron commander now. And that was kind of an exciting thing to do. It's been a long time coming.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what, I'll see if I can maybe give you a nice picture of my wife and my mom and I on my change of command ceremony here.
That sounds great. Absolutely great. And I just had a little flurry of super chats, so I'll quickly go through those. It is a little annoying. I keep having to refresh all this. So where do we get to? Arctic Haze, thank you, Arctic. Is that 25 zlotys, is it? I'm not sure. A first chip on your next computer. Thanks, Arctic. And Robert Williams, $1.99. Joined late. Did a Nathan lose his channel? Which? Oh yes, Nathan Thompson, the owner of the world's biggest flat Earth Facebook group at however many 100,000 members, got it taken down. Bit sweet that. And apparently he looked a bit tearful, according to Fight, who was here earlier. And David Oliver super chatted £5. Thank you, David. Said, I've been really poorly, very ill yesterday. Really wasn't well yesterday, but I feel better today. Well, I'm glad to hear it, David. Actually, I had me and Mrs. Sensible went away for a couple of days, and I was a little under the weather. It's not fun, but I'm glad you're back with it. Nice one. And Channel Right super chatted £2, saying, amazing flight. Well done, guys, and Mr. S. Thank you, Channel. That is also appreciated. Q, did you have any more of your balloon things? I'm not sure where we got to with that.
There's one or two things I could share. Let me just share a minute.
Oh, and 274727 says vegan ribs are actually delicious. The hardest part is hunting down the vegan. Actually, I'm vegetarian once removed. I only eat animals that only eat vegetables. And I'm cool with that. Oh, so what are you showing us now, Q?
Yeah, so this is the calculation we did for the balloon burst.
Yep.
So that's roughly how much we had altitude, and that's where it said it would burst, 37365. But that's with helium. We used hydrogen, so we just put that figure in there, 38109. So not far off the actual. We went a bit higher.
Because as we well know, you get manufacturing differences between balloons.
Yeah.
Because MAGE I only got up to 5.25 kilometres. That was a shame. But
yeah, it doesn't predict that one.
No.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps it should. Perhaps you should suggest it to the guy who writes the software. Look, every 150 calculations, throw in a stupid one for a Duff balloon.
But actually, you do need to include that kind of. So if we did a prediction like this and said that's safe to land, but supposing it doesn't get that far, supposing the balloon does burst a bit earlier, and you have to make sure that everywhere around that target is okay, which we did. So are we showing where we landed?
We can say where we landed, yes.
So
just you might want to make sure that nothing else is doxed.
No,
but I'm happy with the landing site. Yeah.
Oh, I can't see it. Stow on the Wold, anyway, in lovely Cotswolds.
It was beautiful round there, wasn't it?
It was lovely.
And I don't know if you saw in the video when I showed the last clip of film before the landing. In the first few seconds, you can see where we were by that farm or stables or whatever it was. I told you it had caught it in the film, but I couldn't find it when we spoke. And then I realised it does just show on the first bit of that final landing stretch of video.
So you couldn't see us, though? You couldn't see us?
Well, I haven't zoomed in because, as I said, I only managed to get the video uploaded about 90 minutes before it was due to go out, and then I had to get all the streams set up and invites sent out to people like Bob, Fight, etc., and have something to eat, all this sort of stuff. Unfortunately, what I didn't have, Bob, was a nice big fat juicy steak. Oh, he's busy chewing on it.
He's still eating it.
I don't blame him at all. Oh dear.
Dudes, I'm chatting up the waitress right now. Give me a second, okay?
Hey, nice one. So, something else. We've live streamed
Here,
Bob's...
Stephanie wants to say hi to everybody. Say hi to Mr. Sensible.
Hello, Mr. Sensible.
Hello,
Right.
and who am I speaking to?
That's Stephanie, who made this beautiful piece of prime rib for me.
Hello, Stephanie. Well, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And right now there's 208 people on YouTube who I think probably agree.
208 people on YouTube right now have already liked your steak, and they think that's pretty cool.
Holy cow.
Yeah, but
Yeah, kind of.
but do tell Stephanie if I ever make it over there, I expect a free steak.
Okay, so Stephanie, you want Stephanie to give you a free steak if you ever make it over here from Europe?
Yeah, please.
Okay, well, Stephanie will do that. All right. Stephanie will make you a free steak, and then she's going to call me up and ask me to pay for it.
Okay.
But she'll make it specially for you, Mr. Sensible.
Nice one. Thank you. Oh, wow. So we got Bob having a meal, first time on a stream. Bob chatting up a waitress. It's not quite what I was expecting for this stream.
He knows how to live, though, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Mike 71's got steak envy, haven't we all? Do you know, I've had such a full-on week. Q, since I was with you on the balloon launch day, apart from that short time I had away with Mrs. Sensible, which was about 2 and a bit days, I have worked solid on it. I mean, yesterday I finished at 2 o'clock this morning, up at 8 to make sure I could get it done, and it was a close run thing. So I will probably not be doing much in the way of videos. I do owe that video clip that Fight mentioned earlier on, so I'll get that to him, but I'll probably be having a few days off, and maybe I might just go out for a steak. You've talked me into it, Bob.
That's my job, and make
That
sure you
sounds
go
like
to
a plan.
the
I'm gonna
Green
do
Leaf
that.
Restaurant in Iron Mountain, Michigan.
Well, listen.
And I do approve this announcement.
Yep. Oh, well, if it's Bob approved, can't say fairer than that. Look, I'll pay for my
Bob
own
approved.
steak. Bob, I'm quite happy to pay for my own steak, but if you could stump up the airfare, that would be appreciated. That would be a trip, wouldn't it, to go all the way there for a steak?
I fancy that.
Sorry, you
Oh, ribs. I like ribs. I like ribs.
A Turing test saying no idea what's wrong with the message. If you're talking about a super chat, I had that problem because Conspiracy Cats and Creaky on their Agree to Disagree, they mentioned something, I've forgotten what it was about me. Oh, it was about MAGE. And I tried to super chat. I had to do it 3 times. It just rejected it. I thought it might be because it's got an exclamation mark in or something. It doesn't tell you what's wrong. It just says edit it and try again. It's useless. Why doesn't it just, put this character's not allowed or whatever? Go figure. People having an argument in the side chat about the moon. Hadn't really followed that. Looks like they were having fun. What happened with Multi Tom Tom? He was kicking around for a while. Don't know. I can't really follow all the chat all the time, unfortunately. I do. I'll let you into a secret. I do tend to watch my live streams back again, primarily to make sure it all went very well, but also because I quite like that bold guy. He's, I think he's quite good. But Mrs. Sensible always moans at me when I watch them. But the reason I do watch them back is I then watch and read all of the all of the side chats. Absolutely brilliant, because I miss so much when I'm actually doing the stream. Right, Turing. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? Hold on.
I don't know.
Oh, I've managed to kill. I was watching the stream and I've managed to kill it. I think I got it back because I was just going to read out a message that came from. Oh, right, Turing Test 2. Wanted to send you £5 for this. Please visit Mr. Clapperjack's channel and show him some love. He's had a rough time lately. Forget the £5, Turing. Absolutely. Mr. Clapperjack is brilliant. I love his stuff. He's very, very good. He's in Belarus and they're not having a good time of it there. So, yes, Mr. Clapperjack, if a mod can find his channel and put the link in there, please do. Worth a look. Right, Q, you've got some photo bursts to show, some balloon burst photos to show us.
Yeah, this one I found on the internet, and look at the burst there. You can see how you've got that kind of wavefront, haven't you, or stress line there, where the balloon's bursting.
Yeah.
And all of this messed up latex here is just like on your flight.
Yeah, I like how each of those sort of streamers is so symmetrical.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually burst back down here somewhere, down about 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
And
they probably can't. They probably can't see your mouse pointer. Okay.
oh, okay then. But yeah, like exactly, it's symmetrical. So that fault line is moving at the speed of sound in latex.
Oh, the
Which
speed
is-
of sound in
I don't know,
latex.
but,
I never thought I'd hear that said on my channel.
There's some a university did a scientific paper on it actually, and they did some tests. They flew some balloons and did some tests in labs and things, and decided yes, when it's completely stressed and it's about to burst, that's what you get at the speed of sound.
So did they just overinflate them down here?
I don't know. I'll have to find the paper. It's online.
Thank you, Surf, for putting in the link to Mr. Clapperjack's channel. Surf, my 100th subscriber. And Hads says to Mr. Sensible, I hope you didn't have a cigar to celebrate. No, I didn't. So quick update, I'm still on the e-cigs only. I'm not sure how long it's been. Is it 6 weeks? Not had a cigarette. And my daughter's boyfriend just smokes, and my daughter has an occasional one. So at any time I could say, here, can I have one? But I haven't. I've stuck to it. And it really has been the case. Well, two things. One, I've actually found it comparatively easy this time. But secondly, it's the thought of having to face everyone here and say, do you know what? I've had a cigarette and I feel terrible and I'm a bad boy. Because I haven't, honestly. And actually, Q, you can vouch for the fact that the first couple of times we met, when we were in planning and when we did MAGE, I was smoking, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, quite a lot.
Because
Outside.
I had to be careful, of course, with hydrogen, which is a bit explodey. And how much did I smoke on MAGE Day?
Not at all.
Not at all. That you're aware of, anyway. No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, I hope people do visit Clapperjack. You'll enjoy his channel. He first contacted me and said, could I say a couple of lines for things he wanted to include in a video, which I did. And he was pleased with it. And the video was excellent. It was about I think it was Mark Steele, but it was certainly about one of these 5G conspiracy nuts. And the research he put into it, he identified the very mast that this guy was examining, the fact that there was a police station just around the corner. It's some really good stuff, and I would thoroughly recommend Mr. Clapperjack. And of course, I can't not mention you, Q, because you should have seen in the MAGE video, I did put a card and a shout out to Q, because you've done a video about the what do you call it? The pressure sensor and how accurate it was.
It's amazing. It was the specification for it is that it would bottom out at 300. What was can't remember the figure, but it was about 9,000 meters, and actually it was almost perfectly accurate all the way up.
It was good, wasn't it?
Let me just see if I can dig out the program for that.
Kiri Mac, thank you. Good night, love. Yeah, and I did that sanity check. I suddenly thought, well, the only location I'm aware of is the top of Everest. So looked up the pressure there, and we weren't far off that. And of course, you're going to get differences anyway with weather variations.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I didn't correct anything because you know what happens when you do that sort of thing. Flat earthers come along and say, "Oh, well, that's not the raw data. You've changed it. You've done something. You've made it all up." So in my video, it's actually the raw data, and I hadn't even corrected it for the high pressure we had on the day.
Yes, yeah. No, it's good stuff, isn't it? The data is very, very interesting, and I mean, that would be a hell of a lot of data to generate. I suppose you could pinch the data from someone else, but then that would probably be real data anyway. But yeah, it's too much to generate. And I mean, you could see the figures, the pressure in pascals, especially when it was rocketing down a short while after balloon burst. the numbers just rocketing. You couldn't do that manually.
No.
Had to use software to actually overlay all that telemetry. It's the only way.
Yeah. Right. Let me see if I can share this thing.
And I must be going up in altitude because the temperature's dropping. I had to switch my heating back on. Oh, Just for Kick said, hello, Mr. Sensible. I literally just watched a video on Simon Dan's channel sending me here to watch the MAGE project. I would just like to say well done to everyone involved. Thank you for that, Kicks. I don't know if you've actually seen the MAGE video itself yet. It is on my channel. Yeah, it was a project and a half. And Q here, who I'm talking to, is Technical Advisor Plus. Technical advice, loan of equipment, and expertise and advice. Brilliant. Oh, right. So this is a still from your video, is it?
Yeah, still from the video. So this is a little program I wrote. The raw data from the telemetry is down on the left. And you can see this curve, but actually there's two. You can't even, they're so close. So one of them is the theory,
Right.
Which is a NASA atmospheric model.
Oh, you can't trust those guys.
I know. There are some others. The others may have been better, I don't know.
So we came
And there were
quite
different models
close.
for the north and- Sorry?
We came quite close to the predictions.
We came very close. Yeah, I mean, you can't even see the gap. And if I zoom in, let me see. And that looks huge there, but actually that's tiny in relation to the numbers. Absolutely tiny. And that difference there is just the fact we had a high pressure system. So this one at the top is the pressure reading from the sensor, and that is just an average model for the entire year.
Yeah, I'm just looking at I'm just looking at it on the stream, and of course it doesn't take up the full window. People may need to go to the video itself to actually see that. I don't know if it's... Oh, there we go. But yeah, well, you should go and watch the video anyway. It's not that long a video, is it?
No, it's a couple of minutes.
So you don't have to put up with Q for very long for some interesting information.
All my videos are nice and short.
Oh, Demon Orb, thank you for putting the link to MAGE. So, was it Kick? Sorry, Just for Kicks. The link is there if you haven't seen it. I've got to be honest, and I don't like saying this, but I'm going to blow my own trumpet, not because of MAGE in itself, but just about the video. I was really pleased, especially bearing in mind how much work there was with the rendering and that. I was really pleased with the actual finished product. Yeah, you know, sometimes you do a video, you think, yeah, that's top, that's given the information I want, or that's funny, or whatever it is. I've made my point. But that one, I don't just like it. I was really proud of that one, the actual video, and I'm proud of what we did, Q, with MAGE.
Thank you. I think it was a good job.
It was, wasn't it? It's fun.
You can see this raw data here. You can see it. There's kind of almost a sine wave on that, and I believe is the balloon, the payload swinging back and forth.
Yes,
under the balloon.
Yeah. I mean, you explained that to me the other day. So tell people about that.
Yeah, so normally you'd expect the pressure sensor to give you the same number all the time, but if there's any wind at all, it's going to pick that up, and I think that's just wind and the rotation and swinging of the payload.
Because I mean, we're talking pascals. You know, a couple of pascals is not much at all. That is very, very sensitive, isn't it?
Well, there's 100,000 pascals at 1 atmosphere.
Yeah.
So there's next to nothing. Yeah.
It's incredible. I haven't put it in the MAGE description yet, but I do have some details of the cameras and the pressure sensor, which I will add to the description when I get round to it. So sue me. And also, of course, the brand of cat biscuits and the type of cheese, all of which is very important.
That's important technical information.
Yeah. Well, someone may wish to replicate the experiment.
Yeah, exactly. You have to publish all this stuff. And if it turns out if you use a different brand of cat biscuits, the Earth is flat, well, so be it.
So be it, yeah. And I don't know. It was a hard choice. Did I choose a Baby Bell Edam or cheddar? I wasn't sure, and so I thought I'll stick with an English cheese.
Well, that's a really important choice.
Yes, yeah, I thought so.
Cheese is important.
Because in the logo, of course, we do have Union Jacks. This was very much a British effort, wasn't it?
Using a Chinese balloon and an American.
Was it a German sensor?
In a German sensor. International efforts.
Well, we have to.
The air pressure at burst. And this time the pressure sensor is below the theory. But, that could be the model is wrong, actually, but it's probably the sensor. But someone in one of the videos suggested we calibrate the sensor against in a vacuum chamber. And if we had, this would be a lower error. But that's still tiny.
It's tiny.
And it performed about 100 times better than the specification said.
Yes, you can't really knock that, can you?
You can't complain. Can't get the money back on that one.
And I mean, just seeing that curve again, we had this in discussion. The fact we got even if it was 10-20% out, as long as it got that curve roughly showing the gradient, it would have been great. We're not talking about massively high-end, expensive equipment with regard to that sensor, are we? How much would that sensor be then, Q?
The sensor chip is probably about £1 or so.
So there you
Something
go.
like that.
So
the whole model was probably £3-4 something.
So the fact we got anywhere near the predicted is astonishing.
Yeah, but they make these by the million to go in mobile phones and drones, that kind of thing. So a drone for altitude will use one of these. It won't use GPS because GPS altitude isn't so accurate as longitude, latitude, and there's noise on it. So the drone might say, yes, I'm 10 meters above the ground. Oh, wait a minute, I'm 20 meters above the ground. Oh, no, 5 meters. And it would be just jumping up and down.
And that's much more critical for something like that.
That would be quite critical if a drone suddenly jumped 10 meters.
Yeah.
So what they do is they use GPS as an approximate position, and then they'll adjust it with the air pressure. And then if the better drones will have a gyroscope and accelerometer on there as well, and they merge all of that data together. But that is clever stuff. But yeah, just back to the curve. I mean, like I say, if this had been even remotely that shape, we'd be happy.
Yeah, and the fact that it's virtually indistinguishable is just astonishing.
For, like you said, an inexpensive sensor.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Great stuff. And I think I asked you, but did Mrs. Q enjoy the video?
Oh yes, she did. Yeah, and she enjoyed her day out on the chase as well.
And it was a great bit of filming she did of the launch, because we had a disaster with MAGE, didn't we? The first MAGE, I handed Q my phone camera, and I think that it had been recording, and I actually switched it off and gave him the camera to film me, so we got nothing. Yeah. I'm not going to blame you for that.
It's your phone. I don't know how to work an iPhone.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Excuse me a second, Q. Let me just refresh this. I do need to address this straight away. I'll just go back a little. I keep forgetting to. Right. So Maurice Ocamp said, for £5 sterling, sounds like the MAGE launch happened and was a success. Awesome. Can we expect the results video to be posted? You certainly can, Marius, because it's up there now. And I think there's a link in there. You can certainly find it via my channel. Yeah, it was a great success. And Bob the Science Guy, between bites of his gorgeous looking steak, has super chatted. Tater tots now. Thank you, Bob. Super chatted $4.99, saying nothing, I think because his mouth was full. And Mark Tin super chatted £5, saying, excellent work, Mr. S, for hammering in one of the final coffin nails for Flat Earth with a giant piece of latex. Thank you, Mark. And Wolfie. Wolfie6020, good evening to you, has super chatted 100 Australian dollars and said nothing. Wolfie, thank you very, very much. I hope that you watched the video and I hope that you enjoyed it.
Mr. Sensible, let me give you a quick update on Wolfie.
All right.
The generosity of Wolfie to this community is amazing.
I know.
My main astronomy camera was donated by Wolfie entirely.
Was that the one where, because I heard something about an item of equipment being passed from person to person to person to get it to someone else. Was that it?
No.
Oh, that was something else.
For me. He bought it for me and had it shipped directly to my house.
Oh my
Brand
goodness!
New.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That's fabulous.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that, Wolfie. And Wolfie, of course, is the one who, I hope I get this right, had offered to fly a flat earther out to the area where he lives, put them up, and show them all sorts of amazing things. And actually made a similar offer to me, which I was unable to take him up on. And yeah, that's just absolutely amazing. Wolfie, thank you. Appreciate it. I really, really do. And you keep up the good work. I love your stuff. The video you did with the pressure in a mobile phone, showing the difference between the bottom and the top of a very shallow looking hill. I mean, these guys are so busted. So busted. But that's incredibly kind, Bob. Thud said Wolfie6020 just donated 100 Globe Earth CGI dollars. Oh man.
But Wolfie's a great asset to our community.
Oh, isn't he just?
And I just, like that, you never can thank people like that enough.
Oh, and what about the videos that you've done, Wolfie, with showing, I think it was a heads-up display, the stuff in the aircraft with, I don't know the technical terms, there was the stuff with, is it 3 balls or 3 markers to line up the heads-up display, and you were showing the horizon drop. Brilliant stuff. And it busts these guys, and they don't even understand that they're busted.
Well, that's hilarious, that stuff, because they keep saying the horizon rises to eye level, which wouldn't even be the case on a flat Earth.
No.
Because either it would be a close-ish horizon below you, or it would be one you can't even see. So they bust themselves with their own claim.
What they try and say on the heads-up display is that it's a curved window that they're looking through. They don't realize that that's non-distortion glass they're looking through, and it's designed to be that way. You can't be looking through a fisheye lens and trying to land an aircraft.
That would be
it just
rather dangerous,
doesn't work
wouldn't it?
that way.
Oh, General E. Shady, $2 Australian. Comment 1 for Wolfie the Legend. Also for Mr. I will take that as meaning Mr. Sensible, Mr. Q, and Mr. Bob the Science Guy. Thank you, General. And now I understand what all those ones are that appeared in the chat earlier on. I thought, what's all this ones? Oh dear. Oh, I can see a lot of ones. Lots of ones appearing. Yeah, I think I owe Wolfie a 1 or several ones. Thanks, Wolfie. Yeah. Oh, and 1 from Q as well. Nice. So, Bob, what have you got lined up next then, do you think? Shill yourself a bit, sir.
Well, when I can walk again, I'd like to be able to set up a telescope and live stream it. I think the big thing, my biggest project for the next couple of weeks is going to be looking at your data and presenting videos based on it, because that covers both my science education and, it's kind of nice to, slide that right in between their ribs and give it a good twist before you pull it out, so I think you're going to be a big subject of my channel for the next couple of weeks. I may even live stream your launch with some commentary on my channel, primarily to get it a little bit more exposure maybe. And I'd really like to watch it myself, and I may just do it live with everybody.
Because, of course, you haven't seen the video yet.
I've not seen the video.
Oh, well,
Here's the problem that you run into. here's the problem you run into with science. I know what the video is going to show,
Yes.
so I can still talk about it.
Yes.
So it would be kind of neat to actually watch it happen right in front of me.
Yes. As a reaction
I'm sorry
video.
I was working.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's fine. Yeah, because when I did the initial announcement of MAGE, I don't know if you've come across Now Pinion. Nice guy, and he's got some good stuff on his channel. He did a reaction video, sat with his daughter watching the announcement, and I built it up with sort of cartoon images. What could we do? Could I take the picture of the curve of the earth from the top of a building or from an aeroplane or whatever? Then I showed an astronaut, and he's there with his daughter, and his face drops. He said, he's going into space. It was fantastic. Yeah, I'd like to see that, Bob. That would be great. So in that case, please don't see it unless you're recording your reaction, because that would be good. That's positive and negative reactions, of course.
Of course, but I would do it live. As a matter of fact,
Live.
I'd probably make arrangements. We're only about 4 hours apart, aren't we?
Well, right now it's 10 past midnight.
All right, so
Then you're
here at 6:10, so we're 6 hours apart, which is kind of strange. I've got to figure out how that happened. But in any event, we should be able to work out something like that. I've got a couple of days during the week that I'm off, and if I can get this up, say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that would be 10 o'clock at night your time, and that should make things work pretty well. Maybe we'll just do the stream together. I'll have you on as a guest.
Okay. Well, what day is it today? It's Saturday, isn't it? I've only got 2 more days, and then I'm back at work, and I work a rotating sort of randomy shift pattern. So it's going to depend. I'm up for it, Bob. I'm up for it, but you'll have to let me know when. We'll see if it's something I can fit in. I will if I possibly can, of course.
Well, Monday would work for me. Tuesday would not work for me. Wednesday would be okay. Thursday would probably be okay. Friday would be okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If you email me, because
we'll chat.
Yeah, because it's going to take a little sorting out. Yeah.
I'll have my people call your people.
Okay, and I'll be in my trailer, having my hair and makeup done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dave N points out that tomorrow it'll be 5 hours. Yeah, because our clocks change, don't they? So this.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so this is actually it's only 10 past 11, or it will be soon.
I think our clocks are changing too. We're supposed to fall back or some crap. I got to figure that out. I don't know what day it is. I think it might be this weekend.
Yeah, ours. Yeah, it must be. It must be tonight.
Yeah, it's tonight.
Yeah. So an extra hour's sleep.
Keep streaming for 2 hours, then we'll lose an hour or gain or something. Whatever it is.
Oh dear. Yeah, I wonder if we'll ever.
Yeah, but you don't want to lose all the view time, so you've got to shut it down just before the time changes, or else it's going to take however many people are watching you for that last hour, and however many views you got, and it would take an hour's worth of those views away.
Now I don't know if you're winding me up or we. I just don't know. I've been up since early o'clock after a 2 o'clock in the morning finish. So yeah, my brain's turned to mush. Definitely. Yeah. Well, Bob, drop me a message, and I could probably then give you a whole bunch of dates. But I mean, on the other hand, I don't want you as sponsor to have to wait to see it. So if need be, just do your reaction video on your own. But I will if I can.
We'll either work out a time. Let's either work out a time, or I'll do it myself over the next week sometime.
Cool. All righty. Sounds good to me. And I'll look forward to seeing your response, whatever it is, whenever it is, and whether I'm there or not. Apparently, the US changes clocks November the 1st. So you don't get an extra hour's sleep tonight.
Doggone it.
It could have been an extra hour for steak eating. That would be good.
No, I'm just going to sit here and slowly veg away it's just one of those great moments that I could have a storm of nutrition in my brain.
The thing is, I'm not going to ask you what your meal costs, but it's horrendously expensive here. My eldest daughter married an American. We had a wedding here, and obviously his family, or quite a few of his family, came over, and me and Mrs. Sensible took the in-laws out for a meal, and it was a nice meal. It was not an expensive meal; it was a decent meal. But they accidentally saw the bill, and they were absolutely. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he didn't want to hear my food story. I'll tell you, Q. And they were absolutely stunned over the price of it. Absolutely stunned. They were, they couldn't believe it. And
we've been I've been to the States loads of times, and you have a nice ribs or whatever over there. And you come here and think, I just fancy an American type meal. So you go out to TGI Fridays, and I need a new mortgage for that.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Well, the time when I was there for 2 and a bit weeks. I was very fortunate in that my employer paid for me to go there for a 2-week course, and then I stayed for a few extra days. And one of the evenings I decided to stay and have a meal at the hotel. And I ordered baby back spare ribs. And it was a large plate, and there were 3 racks of ribs, and they came off the edge of the plate, and then it had a salad with it. I didn't even bother with that. I just went for the ribs, get my money's worth. I couldn't eat them all. I just couldn't.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's not like that here. You'd get half a dozen little ribs and told the job's a good one.
We went to Hard Rock Cafe in New York a while back, and we ordered a starter, and there's a nacho cheese platter thing, I thought, okay, we'll have that, and then I'll have ribs, Julie have chicken or something. And the nachos were something like 6 inches high on this plate that must have been 2 feet wide, and we just about finished it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, do people eat until they literally cannot eat anymore?
Well, you've seen the size of them.
Yeah. Oh, SMLBST. I must find out how to say that. Smulbuskaba says, I still have to taste Kobe beef. Yeah, I'd like to try that.
Oh.
Yeah. Might be a bit of a letdown, though. Although, having said that, a few years... Ah, he's back again.
He's back.
I'm sorry, I got a call from my practice manager.
No need to apologise.
We couldn't get into the office this morning. The lock malfunctioned.
Right.
And she ended up crawling in a basement window and bruised up her legs, and she had never seen herself bruised like that.
Oh.
So she just called me and asked me if it was all right. No, it's not all right, but she's not going to be hurt by it.
No. Well,
just kind of surprised her.
Well, while you were gone, we were discussing steaks and the sizes of American meals, Bob. And I was saying that when I was at a hotel, I actually ordered a Caesar salad as a starter, and it was a blooming great bowl, but it was gorgeous. And then baby back spare ribs, and it was 3 racks hanging off the plate, and I just couldn't eat them. I just couldn't eat them.
Yeah.
Well, we tend to eat more than we should. That meal that I had tonight was probably the equivalent of about 25 pounds.
Right.
And that included a drink. It included a Bloody Mary. So it really wasn't that bad. But, you get a meal like that would run you $50 in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Right. And it's probably more like that here, I would have thought, with a steak. A good steak could be, without any effort, be that sort of amount. I mean, here, well, me and Mrs. S, as I said, we were away for a couple of days. We went out for a curry on the second night, and I think that was just under £60 for the 2 of us. And we went out for a Japanese the night before, and that was just over £60. It's very nice.
60 pounds, that'd be about $40 a piece.
Yeah.
And that's a bit much, a little bit more unless you have a drink or two with it. But yeah, you can easily, bring the family out to a Red Lobster or something or other. You're looking at $250.
Right.
But
Oh, apparently Heat Shield loves the high volume Michigan waitresses shouting stream. Can we do this again?
oh, you're talking about the background? Sorry about that.
No need to apologise. I think he likes the waitresses.
Well, the girls here are really nice. I generally stop by this place every time I come up to Iron Mountain, which is about once a month. And they've got a really nice crew here.
Do you do quite a lot of travelling with your work then?
Yeah, I used to travel 6,000 miles a month.
A month?
And yeah. Now I'm down to about 2,500 or 3,000.
Okay.
I used to have 9 offices. Because of COVID right now, I think I'm down to about 5.
Right.
And I just go from office to office. And it's just, I've been doing this for 30. I've been taking care of people since 1982 professionally.
Yeah.
I started on the ambulances in 1982, and I became a doctor in 96 was when I became an attending. So I've been doing this for a long time, and it's kind of getting to that point right now that I'm going to kind of back off a little bit. I'm not doing the ICUs 24 hours a day anymore, and running 60-hour shifts as a paramedic. I'm a little beyond that point in my life that I'm doing that. I'm kind of slowing down a little bit, and I'm doing things that I tend to enjoy. The YouTube has been a great thing for me that I've done, and it's given me a chance to do a few things. And other than that, things are going pretty well.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, because you're talking about all those hours and all that travel, and then fitting the YouTube stuff in on top. Although, having said that, I've got a full-time job with, as I said, sort of random shift pattern, which does include some nights. And up until recently, I was still managing to pump out 4 or 5 videos or streams a week. It's hard, but enjoyable as well. Jessica Mills, yeah, I did say who won the MAGE patch. It was Juha Eskelinen, and he was only about 300 metres out.
Sorry, the waitress came back. I'll be back in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, Bob, looking at the time, I don't know whether I will be. Because
I'm just kidding with you. She's here asking a question about the universe. But so, gentlemen, I'll Mr. Sensible, I'll get a hold of you here in a couple of days. We'll make arrangements to do that together.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for having me on.
No, thank you. Thank you
for everything that you did for this too.
Well, you're very welcome. But it's Q as well, of course. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you very much for being a sponsor of MAGE. It's really appreciated. Looks like the waitress has got his attention.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Yes, I see we've got some more people sort of coming in. Yes, the MAGE project has succeeded. She flew very well. The video is out. I see Demon Orbs just put a link to it. I'm going to recommend you watch it. I'm going to probably watch it again before I give up for the night because I enjoyed it so much. I watch it on the big screen. I think I'll treat myself. Well, what a night, Q! What a night!
Yeah, I was having a look at the video, the original video you did earlier. For any flatty comments, here's one: hip hop hippie. You did a great job proving the Earth is bumpy and stationary.
Sorry, which video?
How? The MAGE video earlier.
Oh, right, the one from tonight.
Yeah. How did that video show the Earth is stationary or moving? Or, I mean,
well, I guess we were up there and it didn't whiz around underneath us at 1,000 miles an hour.
Is that Coriolis?
I don't know, but I do feel we need to thank Bob anyway. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Hey, I didn't get oh, look, praise Bob. That's the different Bob. There's too many Bobs in this world. We want our Bob, who was on here tonight and enjoying his steak. That's so funny. So funny. Well, yes, it's 20 past 12. It's been a very, very long day. I had a wonderful time during the stream. I had Mrs. Sensible and middle Miss Sensible sat with me, enjoying it as well. I really enjoyed all the comments, and I've enjoyed the stream tonight. And I will watch it back again to, as I said earlier, to read all the chat, because that's always special. And Q, my heartfelt thanks. Maybe I was going to say maybe.
Yeah, no problem.
Maybe sometime.
A lot of fun.
Matthew, someone gave the link a little while ago, but you should be able to find it via my channel. Perhaps a mod can put it in again. Sorry, Q. I was just saying thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting you, Mrs. Q, the whole business, the amount of stuff I have learnt. And I would hazard a guess in saying a lot of other people have now learnt a few things.
Yeah, I think so. It's a great hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, I did one balloon flight. I thought that was going to be it, and I've done quite a few now. No part of it is really complicated, but there's a lot of things to learn.
And
so
lot
you end
that
up
could
learning
go wrong.
Sorry?
A lot could go wrong.
Yeah, well, as we found out on the first one.
Definitely.
That was quite a surprise. That was an interesting sight, that balloon above the road.
Oh, wasn't it? Just driving around and suddenly seeing it there, that was quite astonishing.
Yeah.
It's quite astonishing.
And amazing how it is that you track a balloon all the way and you go to where the tracker says it is, and it's exactly there.
I know,
right in front of it.
Because we pulled up the nearest place we could park to the prediction, and I forget exactly. You were saying, "Oh, it's 2 kilometres up, and it's going to land."
It was about
half
2
a
each
kilometre.
way, I think.
Yeah. And then when it finally came down, you not only said it's that direction, about 750 metres away. You also said it's 10 metres higher than us, so we could see that there was a slightly raised hill area. That's where it was. It was astonishing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 20 metres above, which means either it's at the
A tree.
top of a 20-metre tree, the hill slightly, which is what it was when we looked that way. That's where the land went. And the other thing is, we left at points when the balloon burst, and we just waited. If you remember rightly, we waited a couple of minutes for the prediction to kick in.
Yes.
And we just drove to where that prediction said.
Yeah.
And it landed within 700 metres of the closest point we could get to.
I know. It was
so
quite amazing.
That just shows, and that's just some maths in the tracker, calculating from the wind where it's going to land.
It was a great day. A great day. Mm. Right. Well, I don't know if we'll get to see Bob again, unfortunately, because I really am shattered now. I don't think I can take any more. It's been a wonderful day, and I want to say a big thank you to everyone who watched the video and everyone who's been here throughout this live stream. All the comments that I've seen so far, and I'm sure there's loads of others that I'll appreciate as well, and all the super chats, of course, to my regular patrons, to the members, and the sponsors of MAGE, Bob the Science Guy, Arctic Haze, and Just Shoot Me, and of course to Q. Thank you, everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind up for now. I'm not sure when I'm doing what. As Fight has said, I'm doing a little bit of a video for something on his channel. Jessica Mills, I said it was Juha Eskalinen won the patch, and it does say in the video itself. Sorry, what was I saying, Q?
No, I've lost it.
Yeah.
What you're going to be doing? Well, I think
yes,
PC needs to rest.
That's right. Doing something for Flight the Flat Earth, and apart from that, I'm not sure right now. There will be coming up quite soon the full flight video, because all I've got to do is just tack a little bit on the front and back and let it render the whole lot, which will take about a week, I should think. So I'll get that up as soon as I can, and I'd recommend it. It'll be a long video, 3 and 3/4 hours, but you can always skip and jump forward. There's loads of stuff on there. It's a beautiful thing to watch. I've certainly sat down and watched whole flights before. So I'm going to So I'm going to call it a night. So, Q, do you have any last words before I just mute you?
No, mute ahead. That's fine.
All right, but
no, yes.
everyone,
thanks for
check
getting in
Q's
touch,
channel
and it's
out.
been a great project.
It has, hasn't it? It has. And you never know. Nothing's planned, but you never know. Maybe we'll think of something else to do. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
never know.
Send up a flat earther, perhaps.
Well, you need a considerably bigger balloon. I mean, the density is incredible.
Well, yeah, but they're not very dense in I suppose they are dense. How can they
Yes,
be
they're
dense in the head with nothing in there? I don't know. There's a conundrum.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, okay, thank you indeed, Q.
No worries.
I'll have a word with you in just a moment. Thank you. Right, so everybody, it's been brilliant. It's been a blast. It's been emotional. I'll see you all soon. Until then, stay sensible.